USA All-Star Wrestling.
The excitement of USA All-Star Wrestling about to begin in your living room. We're at Pasadena at Gilley's, the world's famous nightclub, and what I have here is the wildest looking tag team combination. Men or women, it doesn't make any difference. The Daughters of Darkness of Fantasy. I'll be talking to them in just a moment. They will be going into the ring here today to take on the two good-looking wrestlers. That's Candy Divine and Taylor Thomas. Also, Bigfoot the Sheepherder's here. One of the grapplers will be stepping into the ring. That wild-looking Russian neutral is here. Scott Casey the Cowboy, Sheepherder Jonathan Boyd, Big Bubba, and much, much more. It's USA All-Star Wrestling. The first match will be going into the ring in just about 3 minutes, so don't go away. Well, Miss Fantasy, I know you've got the wildest thing that anybody's ever seen. They were here last week and got a little carried away with herself, and I hope you can keep them under better control tonight.
That's right, Steve Sachs. As you know, we are the United States Tag Team Champions here. I have them, I own them, they're in my stable. Nobody but the best works for me because my managerial abilities get me where I want to be, baby, and that's on top. And with the best behind me, I'll have every belt I want. Those little Barbie dolls out there, Miss Candy Divine, better watch out because they're going to rip your head off, baby. They're going to chew you up for my dinner and spit you out for my dessert.
Well, you just keep talking like that. You know, I look at these wild-looking things. You know, when are you going to shave half of your head?
Hey, Steve Sachs, if it would make me any better of a manager, I just might do that, in fact, because this is beauty in its finest form.
I don't know if it'll make you any better manager. It might help your looks a little bit.
I got the... Why don't you shut your little ugly big mouth? That's right, you shut up. Let me tell you something. They are the United States Tag Team Champions, the women's world, and they are mine, baby, owned by Fantasy.
Well, sometimes I think you might need more of those chains to control those two because they are something else. This is Luna, and that's Locke, and they'll be going into the ring for the opening match here on USA All-Star Wrestling right after this.
Fred Barron's USA All-Star Wrestling, recorded live from Gilley's.
In the ring, and their opponents are here with me on the way to the ring. It's the lovely Candy Divine and also just as lovely Taylor Thomas. It's nice to have you here.
Oh, thank you, and I'm glad to be back here in Texas. I was here just recently, and I won the ladies' title, and I'm ready to take on all comers for the belt because I'm going to keep my belt. And when I heard that the Daughters of Darkness were here, I decided to call a partner and come in and wrestle them. This is my partner, Taylor Thomas, and together we plan to beat the Daughters of Darkness.
Well, I know you are the USA Women's Heavyweight Champion. Taylor, it's nice to have you here in Texas with USA All-Star Wrestling.
Well, it's nice to be here, and I'm here for one reason, to help my good friend Candy take care of these two goons. If they want to wrestle, we'll wrestle. If they want to fight, fine, we can fight too. We don't back down from nobody.
Thank you both very much.
Ready.
Don't let the looks fool you. They are wild. Your opponents are in the ring, so if you'll make your way there now, we'll go down to the ring and pick up the introductions. I'll tell you what, have you ever seen such a contrast? Those wild-looking Daughters of Darkness with half of their head shaved and all that paint all over them, and then the two good-looking girls, Candy Divine and Taylor Thomas. Well, let's see who's going to come out on top. Let's go to the ring and pick up the introductions with Mark Nolte.
Opening match of the night, 10-minute time limit. Presenting first, to my right, seconded by their manager, Fantasy, at a combined weight of 269 pounds, from the dark side of midnight, Locke, Luna, the Daughters of Darkness. Their opponents tonight in front of me, first from Detroit, Michigan, weighing 135 pounds, Taylor Thomas. Her partner from Nashville, Tennessee, weighing 128 pounds, the USA Women's Champion, Candy Divine.
Now, Candy Divine introduced her as the last girl in the ring, as we have Taylor Thomas as her partner to take on those wild-looking Daughters of Darkness, Rusty, and this ought to be something else.
Locke and Luna. Boy, I'll tell you what, Steve, if there's two more wild people around this country anywhere, I have not yet seen them. They are nuts. They're crazy.
Well, let's see who's going to start. That's going to be Luna against Taylor Thomas. Look at her. She jumps up on the back. The referee is Harry Chandler. I wouldn't want the referee's job in this match.
No way. I mean, because you never know what the Locke and Luna are going to do. And Harry's got a heck of a job up there tonight. Look at Luna. Look at her. I mean, if they ever get a shot of her face, which you have, you see what I mean.
Well, that lock, it's hard to tell these girls. The only way you can tell them is one of them has dark hair and the other one has a little rainbow hair.
That's Luna in the ring right now, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's her. Oh, there's a knee from Luna into the midsection of Taylor Thomas. And now it's both Daughters of Darkness over there choking Taylor. Harry Chandler gets Candy Devine out of the way. And now
I hope everyone can hear me okay. So if you're in the chat, let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Seems that it's all good on my end, so hopefully it stays that way. So welcome back to the IWAR Network Tubecast. I'm your host, Alex G. Running solo this evening. Everyone has work in the morning, except for me. I have 2 days off during the week, so I work the weekends a lot of the time, so I have a lot of free time on my hands during the week. So I got an empty house, kids are in school, no one's here. It gives me a lot of time to work on IWA stuff. Probably too much time, maybe. I do get my normal chores done for the day, though. I do rake the leaves and what have you, wash the car, do that kind of good stuff, do my honeydew list that I have very often, but it does give me a time. If I'm focused and I'm locked in, I get a lot of stuff done very, very quickly. So I wanted to spend this show talking about kind of the future of the NWL. For those of you who may have not heard, I am taking over once again, becoming the commissioner of the NWL. NWL is our rookie league, so if you're a new manager, this is where you're going to end up at first. You're going to stay there for 16 cycles, learn how to play the game, and then you're going to go out to the IWAR at large, the veteran league, as we call them, to make your mark there. So again, for me, and taking over the NWL last time, which was in 2014, I want to say, middle of 2014, maybe early 2015. I think it was 2014, if I remember correctly. I took over the job by attrition. I was the only one still left there. So after Bob Rogers left, we were doing a commissioner by committee, which I never ever recommend. And there was like 3 of us, and all I wanted to do initially was write a TV show. I wanted to write a TV show. So I wrote NWL Main Event was my contributions to the commissioner report. It was basically a show that featured squash matches with our various stars defeating scrubs or jobbers, and kind of just flushing out some of the angles, kind of getting the guys over, right? So the big thing you want to do in NWL is kind of make guys feel included, make guys be seen, put people over, right? So that's what I did. I wrote match write-ups that were just squash matches. We throw an angle here and there, but again, it's kind of your generic 80s syndicated TV show that nothing really happened there. It was all in the TT anyway, but it was fun, and I did that for a while, and then one of the other co-commissioners or assistant commissioners left, and another one left, and I'm just kind of just sitting there by myself. So I just did a report one day, and I sent it over to Matt, and he was like, "All right, you're now the commissioner of the NWL. Now I'm out of here." That's how it went. So I just he never asked me to be commissioner the first time. I was just still kind of sitting there, and happy to get involved in the IWAR. Just happy to be around. Again, I was a new player. I'd started, so being commissioner of a league a year in is a big step. Commissioner of the Rookie League in your first year is interesting for sure. But if you guys have any questions, just shout them out over into chats. I don't know if I'll be able to see it or not because I have a different screen up than I normally would. I have this is actually I'm sharing a screen from from Publisher. This is what I use for the most part to create the stuff that I create. You can see some of it on the screen here. And I've been messing around with ChatGPT as of late. As the guys in the chat will tell you, I've been spamming them with messages for the past 3 or 4 days, kind of working on that. But it's fun. The thing about AI, and we can talk a little bit about AI while I have it. It's a nifty tool if you know how to use it, and learning how to use it is extremely hard because it's all prompts, right? So it's all about Okay, so as we can see, it recapped all kinds of funky stuff. That stuff that was in there or not. But again, if I actually re-upload those TTs, it should actually pop up. So we're 0 for 2, 0 for 2 on AI in this one. So again, it's not perfect, but we're working on it. We're definitely working on it. So again, I hope everyone can hear me. No one's in the chat yet. Okay. Okay, so if I type in, tell me everything you know about the NWL in detail. Let's see what it says. Thing about AI too, if you don't give it the details, it will create its own. So it's something you always got to watch for, that the AI itself doesn't make up its own stuff and go off the reservation, so to speak. Let's see if we get to talk again.
The National Wrestling League, NWL, is the rookie-only developmental league of the Imaginary Wrestling Association, IWA. Much like WWE's NXT, it serves as a proving ground for up-and-coming wrestlers, providing them with a unique environment to hone their skills and develop their characters before moving to the larger leagues within the IWA. Here's a comprehensive breakdown of the NWL. League purpose and structure. The NWL functions as a developmental platform, giving rookie wrestlers...
So I wonder why it stops. See, it stops right there. It doesn't tell me why, though. Interesting. Again, the tech is not there yet, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully at some point it will get there, or maybe at some points, maybe not. You know, there's always a concern of how much AI is going to actually change our lives, and how scary that could possibly be. But overall, it's pretty interesting. Just to see where we stand with this so far. But again, still working on it. Still working on getting the bugs out on it. But we will. I don't foresee it being a problem moving forward. Let's ask it why is having issue reading. Why are you having issues reading out loud? God damn it. It's too late for this shit. Yeah, Matt, the AI is getting better for sure, but I know you had to work tomorrow morning, so no Matt on the show this evening. Let's try it again. Let's see if this will work.
it seems I might not have clearly communicated my responses, or they might not have fully addressed what you needed, which can sometimes happen when interpreting complex prompts or managing nuanced details. When it comes to providing responses that feel read aloud, it might be due to the way I structure or format information, especially if I dive too deeply into details. I can certainly adjust my responses to make them feel more conversational, structured more like spoken words, or simplify explanations to make the information flow better for a read-aloud style. Let me know if you'd like me to try a different approach in organizing or presenting the details, and I'll be glad to tailor it.
Let's see. Tell me about the IWA. Oh, let's not do that. Tell me about the IWA. Alright, let's see if we can read this. Oh, it keeps on going. Again, like I said, the more information I can put in this, I want to put in information about the other leagues, the other commissioners, other wrestlers, get as many bios as I can to kind of dump them in here. So if I ask it a question, it can give me a response.
The Imaginary Wrestling Association, IWA, is a unique, expansive professional wrestling universe where wrestlers from various backgrounds and styles come together to compete, build rivalries, and entertain fans. The IWA has its own rich history, culture, and structure, making it a compelling and intricate world for wrestlers and fans alike. Here's a detailed breakdown of everything that defines the IWA. The concept of the Imaginary Wrestling Association functions as a federation of
failed to play message. I wonder why. That's weird. Why? It might have something to do with us being live. Maybe it was on a live stream. That's interesting, though. So that's AI in a nutshell, and again, I'm going to use it to mostly for recap purposes. Again, AI is not necessarily all that creative, to be honest. Although I've done some things. You write 4 pages to get one, but at least that one is written fairly well and fairly competently. So again, the more details you feed it, the better off we'll all be. Let's go and see. Give you guys a preview of what I'm doing in the NWL. So I might mention this before, but I do use Publisher as my kind of go-to. I know other people use PowerPoint, Matt. I hate PowerPoint. I don't think it's any good. But that's my personal beef about PowerPoint. People use Photoshop, and well, I like Photoshop. It's very detail oriented and it's very good. It's very, 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 very complex to use, for sure. I've used Photoshop in the past. Eats up a lot of resources on your computer too at the same time, so it can be kind of rough. It kind of be kind of rough, to be honest. Okay. So again, this is all first drafts, I would call it. So I think that's the appropriate term. First drafts about my first commissioner's report. Again, I like to use the magazine style. So I'm a big fan of wrestling magazines. Collect them as a kid. I had boatloads of them, and I do like the style. And if you know about the IWA's connection to magazines, that's where they obviously promoted the IWA, and most of the people who started playing IWA, including myself, saw them in a wrestling magazine. And you cut out your little advertising, you send it over to Willowick with your $1 or your $5, most likely in cash. Sometimes checks are money order, but probably most times in cash. I'm curious about how Johnny B handled the cash portion of the IWA, or the change portion. Like, you just one day he's gonna get your deposit bag and he's gonna go over to Willowick First National and deposit all these singles that you would get from kids around the United States. You probably had to laugh at that. But I'm using Wrestling World, which Wrestling World was an actual wrestling magazine. The picture of Randy Savage is it's an actual wrestling magazine. That what I do is I do this on a lot of things. I would put the magazine cover down, and then I will sort of, I guess, be tracing over it, maybe would be the appropriate term, to kind of get the look and the feel and everything in the right spot and kind of center correctly. So I would have it. This is actually an old asset that I had from, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. I do reuse assets all the time. Most of you don't collect bulletins, and you guys are not looking at a bulletin from 5 years ago, so I can go back and reuse stuff that I used already. I worked hard on that stuff, and I'm going to get some mileage out of it, so I'll bring it back. And if you're lucky enough and you're around long enough, you'll see stuff a couple different times, maybe slightly different, altered in some way, but I do reuse assets often. So this is Wrestling World. It's $1.99 in the U.S. And it's $69.99 in Canada. So our fine friends over in the north are getting kind of ripped off on this one. But I always thought it was funny because wrestling magazines would have United States and Canadian prices on it, and that's something I always remember when I was a kid. So I have to throw that on there. I'm moving on from there. This is my welcome to the IWA, welcome to the NWL kind of first page, kind of explaining what the IWA is, what the NWL is. And that's going to be for new managers walking in the door, so they will have something to look at. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask those. You can actually, if you're not watching this live, which I'm assuming most of you won't be live because it's 11 o'clock on a Wednesday evening, you can drop your questions in the comment section. You can do that. You can send me an email. It should be on the Facebook page. If it's not, I'll throw it up there. Message me on Facebook or whatever you want to do. I know some of you guys want to throw a little friend request in there. Don't do that. So I don't necessarily accept friend requests from IWA players. Not because I don't like you. I have enough friends. I don't need my brother arguing with someone from the IWA on my Facebook page about politics or religion or something like that. So I try to keep those separated best I can. But I'll be more than happy to talk to you via Messenger. I'll do that all day with your questions. Feel free to ask anything. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. If you ever want my opinion on something, or like, hey, take a look at this picture, or hey, look at this TT. Do you think it works? Feel free to ask me. If you're a commissioner of another league and you're starting out, and you're looking for a sounding board or someone to ask an opinion of, by all means, you can do that as well. So don't be afraid to ask questions. I've been out of the game for a year. I've been back for a while, but I've been under a mask for a while. But I'm back commissioning after about a year and a half hiatus. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, ask. I'm here. The staff page. I stole that from somebody. I don't know who I stole the staff page from, but it's now a staple. I think I was the second person doing it. I don't think anyone was doing it. Maybe Matt was doing it a little bit, but not like this. But the staff page was I thought it was a big deal, especially for rookies coming in to see, who the staff is. These are the tools that you need. So if your commissioner is like, you got to have these kind of characters in place as your administration, as your foundation of your league, and any good TT storyline writer is going to use the tools that's provided to them. So they're going to use the backstage interviewer. They're going to use the ring announcer. Hopefully, they're going to use, the security guard. They're going to use the color analyst. They'll use the referees for various, TTs and sneak attacks. Like, again, they're very, very much, a part of the story. And I always have characters, and some of these might seem familiar. That some of these guys I brought back from other tenures. There's some of them that are new. The Jack Cornette character is going to be interesting because I did spend the time and create, 3 pages of backstories for everyone, just so I had to have them. It's in my NWL Bible that I have, so I can refer back to. So I think the Jack Cornette, which I don't think it's a character that at least did it. It's going to do what I'm going to do with him. So he's he's going to be the former Johnny B student looking for revenge because he got a D on his Latin test, and he's out looking for revenge, and he's a very unhappy camper. So I think that's going to be fun, a fun way to do that. Just to have that. We have Clarence Cochran is there. He's a character I made 10 years ago. He's Luther Alexander's attorney. Clearly influenced by Johnny Cochran or what was Jim Cornette's attorney? It was Clarence Mason and Jackie Childs from Seinfeld. So he's a kind of combination of all three. You can throw a little Sal Goodman in there too now. Kind of the not the criminal lawyer, but the lawyer that's a criminal. So we have Vic Venom. Again, he is a stand-in for Vince Russo. He is a journalist. He's going to be critiquing the rookies on what they're doing. I had used them in the IWL for Wrestling Wrap-Up. He was the editor and frequent critic of Samantha Soley. That's kind of part of his deal. Mr. T makes an appearance here because Luther Alexander would be friends with Mr. T, and Luther gives his friends his job, so Mr. T is there. You got the son of Gene Oakland, Todd Oakland, former Olympic hockey player, which is a shoot, by the way. He's there as the NWL interviewer, which I'm assuming people are going to use fairly often when they're doing their promos and their TTs, so it's something to take a look at that. We have Jimmy Lennon III, who was the son of the great Jimmy Lennon, the boxing announcer, and Jimmy Lennon Sr., who was a boxing and wrestling announcer. So he did Los Angeles back in the day. So you'll see old pictures of Jimmy Lennon with like Pedro Morales and like Freddie Blassie and stuff back from LA. Jimmy Ross is the nephew of Jim Ross. He's one of the referees. We have Manny Davis, the former. He was banned for a while. He was a disgraced referee. He bet on wrestling, by the way. So, and then we have Phil Alfonso, who is the lunatic who we're not even sure where he came from, and he likes to tell stories. So we think he's just a crazy person, but he's a heck of a referee. But he likes to tell stories like he's the son of Ronald Reagan. He's just a crazy person. We have our trainers on the bottom, which is Tito Santana, because you need to have a nice guy in there. So I think him and Jimmy Ross are nice guys in there, kind of to balance out. So you can't have a league full of heels as administration. So you can't do that. So Tito is going to be our super nice guy, super babyface trainer. Bob Rogers, who is based on Rip Rogers. And Rip Rogers, for those you don't know, was the trainer of OVW and helped train a lot of guys down there. And the name Bob Rogers is the prior NWL commissioner from back in the day. So he was a super cool dude. So Dr. Zahorian, and if you guys know about good old Dr. Zohorian and his legal woes and his woes with the WWE. This is the son of Dr. Zohorian. So he's here doing nefarious things and making sure all the wrestlers are taking their vitamins, so to speak. So Lance Catamaran is back. He was my announcer in the IWL. Former babyface announcer. He was very much in the same vein as your Lance Russells and like 80s Vince and Gordon Soley. He turned heel though. We actually did an IWL pay-per-view. I did a double turn with announcers. I had Tully Schiavone. He wasn't necessarily heel. He was more definitely biased towards the heel, but he wasn't a full-blown heel. But he was just going that way. And then we had Lance, who was the babyface, and I actually did a double turn during the pay-per-view where Lance turned heel and Tully turned babyface, and through all the match write-ups for that particular pay-per-view. So that was a lot of fun. Pierre Roulette, he was a former NWL color analyst. He worked with Samantha Soley. That was the broadcast duo with Samantha Soley and Pierre Roulette. Again, he's a prototypical 1970s mafia man. Again, big in Vegas. De Niro and Casino. That's good old Pierre, and he's a degenerate gambler, and he would say he sexually harass Samantha Soley all the time. Just a guy that's in a bygone era. He doesn't belong here anymore, and kind of wonder why he's still here. He's recently in prison and bailed out by Luther, so he has some sort of loyalty to Luther for bailing him out of jail. Are there any off-topic limits? No, there's no off-topic limits. Just like TNA's X Division, there are no weight limits, so there's no limits at all. So don't worry about that. And Jay, how do you create images for wrestlers in the Creation Lab? So you got to talk to our good friend Matt Riley. He uses, I believe it's WWE 2K. He's probably 23 he's on. It might be 24. So he uses the Create a Wrestler in there, and then he crops the images and gets them out. He does it differently than I do. So that's a Matt Riley thing. Not that I'm opposed to it. I want to be clear on that. I'm not. I thought we've done them for Luther back in the day. We've done them for everybody, a lot of guys. It's a good way to not use like actual people. Which, like, clearly, like, I'll use them. It's a little bit different. But I can see why. I know why he does it, and he does it really well. So, go ahead and contact him for that, for sure. He'll get you going on that. Moving on, we have the Who's Who. So, for me, the Who's Who is explaining who all the staff is. So you got Luther, Jack Cornette, Mr. T. Basically what I just told you guys. This is the Who's Who. It's 4 pages long, which is very long. So I'm probably going to keep this up. So when I take over in December, I'll probably have it up for like 3 or 4 months. Or 3 or 4 cycles. I'll take it down for a while, and then as I see new people trickle out, you'll see it again. I'll pop up every once in a while. You'll see the Who's Who's back, and I'll make additions and changes to this. So, as things grow and how, and people evolve, I'll put the evolutions in here as well. So, that's the Who's Who. So, it has everyone here. Moving on is the advertising, the wrestling poster from Homecoming, which is going to be the first pay-per-view, which will take place in I'm not going to say January, but I think maybe March or April is when I have it. I got to see when I have it written down, but that's the poster. This is poster 1A. So poster 1A has Luther on it, which I don't necessarily wanted to have him on it, but since I'm not necessarily familiar with everyone in the league. He's going to be in poster 1A. So I do multiple posters for events. So there's usually a poster like this, and then there's a second poster with people who are on the event, and then sometimes there's a third poster that will have matches on them. So three different advertisements, 3 different posters will go up. I think Jay had a question. Are there NWL wrestlers and managers may have veteran wrestlers in the other feds? So the way it works, it's 16 cycles and you're out. So once you hit cycle number 16th, unless you have an extension via the draft, you're going to go out to a vets league. They can't come back in. So once you're out, I'm not talking about wrestlers, the manager can't get back in. So once you move on from the NWL, that's it. Has there been scenarios in the past that we tried, guys would leave the game and come back and try to creep back through the NWL? Yeah, that's happened. We've done our best to curtail that. When we know someone is not supposed to be there, we contact the NWL, and NWL will move them. If a wrestler overstays their welcome, I can request the IWA to move them to another league. So they've done that for me in the past. We don't like to do that. We want everyone to leave on their own accord. We want everyone to be happy. But we've done that a couple of times where we've had the IWA remove them from the league. I think technically the only vet wrestler would be Matt himself as I guess you would call him associate commissioner. He can have a wrestler in that league, but he purposely tailors his strategy to hit like a 489. So he's aiming for low strats with that wrestler. And the reason why he has a wrestler because Matt actually collects the bulletins. And that's the way you get the IWA to send them his actually physical bulletin, so you can put it in the leather-bound book of bulletins that he's accumulating at home. Is it 16 cycles or 17? I'm pretty sure it's 16 now because we have a vacation cycle now. So that's why it was at 17 originally, 16 now because we have an off cycle. So that's why that changed. Am I going to bust your chops if you're there 17? No. Am I going to kill you for being there 17? No. Your debut cycle is it will be the Big Ben cycle that counts. That's cycle 1. Yeah. But again, if you got your draft exception, you're fine. If you want to finish out a feud, say you have a feud, like, hey, listen, the pay-per-view is next cycle, and my time is up. Can I stay to have the pay-per-view match? Then you contact me, and we'll make sure you stay for that. Like, it's a rule, and it's a hard rule, but there's things that come up that we'll take on case by case. But yeah, say, hey, listen, I got a championship match next cycle. Like, what do I do? And like, nah, you stick around for that. We've had guys like win. We had a guy stay like 3 extra cycles because he won the league championship like 3 times in a row. Like, that's happened. Yeah, again, keep on asking your questions. You can always email me. You can, like I said, Facebook, Messenger. You can ask him, ask me, and we'll get that done that way. Yes, the draft, you don't have to jump right away. You get it. So, all right, so you're drafted and you have, like, say you get drafted and you have like 4 or 5 cycles left. We'll let you finish it out. Like, we're not jerks about it. You can finish out your deal there. For sure. Who do we reach out to? New league commissioner. That'd be me. You reach out to me. I'm your guy. See, as the commissioner of the NWL, they answer questions a lot more than other commissioners. So if taking the job itself, I knew for a fact I was going to answer a lot more questions. Yeah, Darren, you can also contact the league that you're going to tell them that you're going to be late. Or you can ask any of the IWAR staff. They will help out as well. Or I can facilitate that process for you. Either or is fine. So let's look at the commissioner report for the NWL. We're in. I guess we're in beta testing for it right now. Beta, I would call it beta. Yeah. So this would be the commissioner address. This is where I would talk about the going-ons in the league. It's Luther. Since Luther's not there because he's actually wrestling in other leagues, CWL and future ACW. He's going to be doing it via Zoom. So it's a different twist on how we do commissioner address moving forward. Jay manages AJ Hammer, just trying to figure out who to reach out to make sure I can finish the feud in CWL before going to the BRL. That would be Jeremy and Matt, or you can just tell me. Like I said, I can get the word out there. How long do you intend on staying in the CWL before you go to the BRL? I guess is the next question. Like, is there a pay-per-view match coming up? Is there something like to end a feud? Because it's something I'll talk about with rookies in general. We talk about how to finish a feud. We'll probably workshop that out. Because sometimes and veteran players fall into this as well. It's like you just keep on feuding with the same person for like 3 years, so you never move on and you never have the big blow-off match, and you keep on going. And it's like the hardest thing about a feud is figuring out how to finish it, and that's something we could definitely workshop. One more cycle, yeah, absolutely. You can stay one more cycle. It is coming. If you're talking about nuclear fallout, that's I think the results of this cycle. So they go use the scorch for this cycle, and then write-ups will be the next cycle afterwards. So yeah, you're fine. Like, we'll work with you. And then this is the ranking page, which I will use AI to determine rankings based on winnings percentages and strat totals and what have you. They actually compile that for me, and then right now I have 3 champions for the NWL National Champion, Grand Prix Champion, and Tag Team Champion. Will be the titles there. What are we going to do with the other titles? We are going to unify those titles. So if you're holding one of the titles for the NWL, I will have a contest to have those championships unified with the championships we currently have. And then we'll move on from there. That's the way that's going to go. That's what I've done before. Because I don't like vacating, I don't like stripping, I don't like, hey, listen, this title's defunct and we're going to throw it in the trash. We just end up unifying with other belts. So at the very least, we can keep the lineage going on those belts. And these were the belt names before, too, anyway, before they were changed. So we're just reverting back to the name that I had originally. So that's the beta for the NWO report. So that's what's going to look like moving forward. If you guys want to see what I'm doing for the CWL, this is I was working on this before too. This is one of the pay-per-view names of the for the NWL is going to be Graduation. So it's, again, I'm really going with the NXT theme we're going. So it's a school. You know what I mean? It's a wrestling school. So we're going to have... So the pay-per-views are going like this. Homecoming, Rumble in the Bronx, Wrestle Days, which is It's an old NWL pay-per-view. I don't know who created it, but it was already there when I got there, so I'm just bringing it back. And then we end up the final would probably be December cycle would be graduation, and then we go into the next year. So 4 pay-per-views. There's going to be events. So you're going to have your Willowwick Classics. You're going to have your All Rookie Cups. You're going to have your Bad Company Cups. I'm going to add some other ones too. I'm a big tournament guy anyway. That's how I determine challenges for the Commissioners Championship. I either do eliminator matches or tournaments. So I do those fairly often. You're going to have MSG Tag League, which is going to be a round robin, Japanese style point total just for a couple cycles. They'll end up getting a shot at the Tag Team Championships also. So lots of things to keep you guys invested.
Oh, can you hear me?
There he is.
Sorry about that. My computer is kind of slow.
Is it because it's a potato?
Yeah. Armor net.
Okay.
So NWL. So is it going to be a new name?
So yes, the NWL will be no longer the New Wave League.
Okay.
It will be the National Wrestling League, reverting back to its original name.
I was going to say the New World League, but no. Okay, National Wrestling. That's better. That's better.
So New Wave. New Wave is a name I never liked.
Yeah, it's kind of different.
So, but like if you guys would have saw the original like layout for New Wave, it had a very New Wave '90s kind of look on it. So I can see why that was done. Will you book commissioners choice matches? All the time. So many commissioner choice matches. The NWA. So Johnny B looks at me sideways. Like I'm doing 25 commissioner matches this cycle. Dude, gives me the side eye when I do those.
I thought Kimberly was gonna tell me to stop because I do it every cycle too. I put out like tons of matches.
So a little inside baseball. I don't use free matches. So I don't use my free matches. So I think it's 10. I get 10, like for myself. That's your commissioner's salary, so to speak. And then you get. I think you get another 10.
And it's 10 per league. So if you have multiple leagues as a commissioner, you get 10 for each.
Yeah. So I never use those for myself ever. So
really?
So I will either hold them.
Yeah.
And then I'll use them for pay-per-views and commissioner choice matches and my tournaments and all my other stuff. I will use it for that. So I don't use those matches ever for myself. And then whatever ones I accrue. So yes, I do a lot of commissioner choice matches. So, because what happens too, and it's the way the game is built is that, all right. So if I'm doing my matches, right? So I'm doing my match deal. I'm paying my $13. You'll do the front page, right? You'll do, depending on where you rank, you may not do league. You may not do TV, depending on your rank, but you'll just go through the whole front page, and then everyone else is going to be scrubs anyway. So like that 20 wrestlers on the second page, like the first 20 wrestlers, you're not going to wrestle. So I'll make sure that people who are feuding have matches to keep them engaged, to keep them going. And again, I do a lot of eliminators, and I'll book those in a particular way. So the Grand Prix Championship, by the way, that's a unique concept. And for those who remember the Grand Prix Champions, what that is, it's we book that. That's the only championship that gets booked. So what we do instead, we use the match results, but usually the champion will pick the challenger. That's a feud-heavy belt. That's built for trash talk. That's built for, because a lot of these other championships is like, oh, like you'll get a shot at the national championship status, and that's because you won something, but you're not necessarily feuding with the guy. The Grand Prix is to be defended with someone that you're feuding with, or someone you're going to start to feud with. So really, in most cases, there might be some exceptions. You will pick your challenger. Interleague champions. So interleague matches. So glad you asked that because I do a lot of those fuckers too, and I drive Kim crazy. So homecoming is not just Luther coming home to the NWL. It may have NWL alumnus coming back to challenge some of the rookies. So that's a little letting the cat on the bag there. So if you create a new wrestler, yeah. So once you're out of the NWL, or either actually when you're still in the NWL, if you create a new wrestler, you can put them anywhere other than the. You can put them if you're in the NWL. You can create one for the NWL. If you're no longer in the NWL, you can put them anywhere else you want. If you're in the NWL and create a wrestler, you can put them anywhere IWAR wide.
Yep.
Or IWA wide.
I've known lots of guys that have done that, that take advantage of while they're still in NWL. They make a few wrestlers and go to dead leagues in other federations so they can see what it's like.
Yeah. And they come crying. They come crawling back every single time.
Well, it's tough. You look at IWAR network. It's getting bigger now. But when I first came back, I didn't know about NWL.
Right.
I just joined leagues that I remembered from when I was playing a long time ago, and I got killed.
Yeah.
But the IWAR network had a few leagues, and CWL was kind of like the drunk uncle then.
Yeah.
And I joined that league because I thought, hey, I'll give me advantage to try to learn the game and figure it out. And it's actually nice because we have more leagues now, and there's a lot more drunk uncles, if you will, where you can kind of learn at your own pace.
So for me, I was a big proponent of I want us to get down. So I'm the one that I wouldn't say I talked them into it, but I suggested us going down to 4.
Yes.
I think we were at 7, and we went down to 4. We dropped leagues. So I was a big proponent of us dropping leagues. And what happened was when we went down to 4, BRL, CWO, and IWL got all the talent, and those leagues became really, really hard. BRL is always hard. IWL and CWO became very, very difficult because it kind of now that we have more leagues, it's going to be more spread out. It's going to be a little bit more diluted, a little bit.
Yeah.
So like you'll have more of a chance to win, but there was a time in the IWL. If you're not getting a 496, you ain't winning nothing.
Oh yeah, big time. Even with a 496, you weren't winning.
Yeah, so it got tough.
It got very tough. And tag and 6 was even tougher.
Yeah, so those because they had we had all the really good managers in all those leagues, and most of them played all 3 because we only had 3.
Multiple 521s, multiple 516s. It was insane. It was crazy. It was the leagues were tough. Like if you could win multis in those leagues, and with one team, you're a good multis player. No.
For sure. So again,
any more questions out there? These guys are asking lots of great questions.
Again, this is again. That's why I felt the need to do this, was to get the questions out here. Oh, so I'm doing this whole gimmick about using the Willowick Courier because Luther spends a lot of time in Willowick for no reason. And we'll find out the reason why he's there all the time now. Down the road, that's the angle I have planned out for 9 months, but this is the start of it here. So we'll get to that eventually, but yeah, he's in Willowick for Johnny B's getting the key to the city. This is actually 2 cycles from now, so this is actually not next cycle. This is 2 cycles because I already set my stuff in, so I'm working on 2 cycles from now.
So have you started right like this cycle? You're going to be commissioner, or are you waiting until January?
December cycle.
Nice. Okay.
So
awesome.
I wanted let them get their pay-per-view done. Let them get Battleground finished, and then we'll take over. He'll probably make an appearance at the end of Battleground, and that'll be it. And then we'll start off running there. But so this won't go in for next cycle. This is actually 2 cycles from now.
Awesome.
Because I do stuff very early.
But it's great to have you back, and I'm sure that Johnny B and Kimberly are all happy to have you back too. It's great to have you back.
Yeah,
You've been back, but we just didn't know you were back.
It was like, he's gonna make us a lot of money again.
I know Matt is sleeping sound in his bed right now.
He is.
He was shocked. He was shocked. You really pulled one over his eyes on that one. He didn't know it was you.
And Johnny and I had I wouldn't say a weekly correspondence with Johnny B, but definitely every cycle he was like, "Oh, this is hilarious. This is so funny." So he's like, he actually looks at your stuff. Am I running Battleground? Matt's running Battleground, so that's going to be the handoff spot. Hopefully he knows that. Well, NWL has been kind of on autopilot a little bit, so he's always the backup commissioner, though. So
yeah. So
I'll let him handle that, and he's going to be handling Willowwick Classic, and he's going to be handling graduation schedules for me. So he's always a co-commissioner for the NWL anyway. Yeah, so like I was talking to Johnny B every 3 weeks, and he would look into my Easter eggs and stuff like that. Like,
yeah,
he really enjoyed it. So a lot of stuff I was doing, and now that I'm still doing, is very much for an audience of one. Like I'm doing stuff specifically to make him laugh now. You know what I mean? Like I'm just doing something to make us laugh.
It's funny because someone was asking me just recently about becoming a commissioner and why do you do it and all these things, and I was like, you pretty much do it for yourself. You entertain yourself, and if one or two managers join and like what you're doing, then you just run with it.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much you entertain yourself first, and then if others like it, then you continue
for
join.
For sure. And that's what people. When you write your TT, like we're the audience. So the Tubecast is the audience. The other managers, that's the audience. You know what I mean? That's what you're trying to pop. Like that's why the Chameleon was so good. Like we would like laugh at Big Bad Bob and all the shenanigans. We read that stuff. So
yeah. And there's I actually enjoy those managers that send in stuff and you kind of look at it and go, what is this? But it's hey, they're active, and that to me those guys are paying for matches too, so it's awesome to have them.
Have I been buffing up on the NWLTT since I was announced as commissioner? Not as much as I should. It's hard to kind of. If I would have known like 6 cycles ago, I'd probably have a better grasp on it because I did see it from the beginning. And we talk about it on Tubecast, but we're lightly going over it. But I'm aware of the players, and I'd really look into it for the draft, just to make sure I draft appropriately for Jeremy for the CWL. So I think I did all right in the draft, guys. I don't know. What do you guys think? Did I do okay in the draft?
I think the draft was a lot of fun.
It is.
It got everybody involved, and I think the players really enjoyed it too. So.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's why the live one on the Facebook page was always interesting. I can try to find that. Do you have PDFs of the last few bulletins? No, I do not have PDFs of the last few NWL bulletins. I think that's why I was asking questions regarding the champions, because I didn't know. Aaron gave me his stuff though. Like I have access to his email. Unfortunately, he has like a two-way authorization on it. So like I try to log in with his password, and then it asks for his phone number. I'm like, I don't know his phone number, and now I feel weird asking. So I'm not gonna do anything.
Well, with PDFs, you can always ask Kimberly.
I can.
Yeah, because I remember when I took over FSL not so long ago, I wanted to get the history of the league because it wasn't that long of a league. So I asked her for all the bulletins, and she sent them to me. So it was pretty cool.
Awesome. Yeah, James, you can send me if you want, for sure. Either to my email or Facebook Messenger. Either or is fun. So this is how. So on the screen right now we have what I'm working on for the CWL from 2 cycles from now. So this is what's going on there. Little cover action.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Commissioner to commissioner. Okay. When you write your stuff, like you are like me, you write your stuff way in advance.
Mm-hmm.
Do you forget the stuff that you write, and then when your bulletin comes out, you read it and go, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that." Do you do that, or
yes, that's no, that's happened to me too.
Okay, because I thought I was the only one that does that. I do all my stuff so soon, and then I send it in, and I'm like, "Hey, I forgot about that."
Well, because originally I was the victim of what every commissioner and pretty much every player would do. I'm doing them Sunday night at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Yeah,
don't do that. Like, you're going to burn out. Like,
yeah.
So
if you're gonna do your holds, wait until the last minute. Yes, do your holds or your strategies at the last minute. But your trash talk and your commissioner reports and stuff like that, do that way early.
But you can do that as soon as what's the name post.
As soon as it drops. Yeah, as soon as it drops, you can do it. So that's the best time to do it because it's fresh in your head.
Yeah.
You read the TT, you go through it real quick, you write out a kind of a recap and just go through it real quick, and then that way, if something does happen in the 2 weeks, you can change things.
Yeah.
And
I've done that too.
I've done it too. Like it's just one of those things. But with strategies though, you wait until the last minute. You wait until steel drops and then you do your strategies.
My favorite thing I did a Luther dressed as He-Man as a spam ad, which is a deck response from someone saying I was spamming TT, which is hilarious. So he's there with the spam. I also did a pinup of Judy Martin, who's my favorite female professional wrestler, by the way, just for fun.
That's awesome.
Fucking glamour girls will like the female Road Warriors. Watch them against the Jumping Bomb Angels again. They would beat the shit out of those women. We did the Luther comic book. So I did a Luther comic book in here. Threw that in there. That's fun. So I did that. So as a kid, I would always see the Stralding Presents Street Ball ad, like in comic books that I used to read as a kid. So what I did is I put Luther's face in it now, and now he's in the ad. So I thought that was funny. So I just crossed out what it said Rick Barry and put Luther's name in there instead. So I thought that was fun.
With strategies, Jay, it takes time to figure them out. It takes time to figure out like the order and stuff like that. When you first start off, just know that hold 25 and hold 90 are the most important. Other than that, just remember the hold values.
Yeah.
So it's tricky at first.
It is.
Can be worked out. But
once you understand the concepts,
yeah,
then you're fun. Like I'm not the best at strategies, but I know how they work.
Yeah.
So it's like for me, I'm doing double 25s, double 30s, double 29s. That's 6 holds. You have 4 holds left to go, and you go between 26 and
And I think that the hardest part for new managers is to look at the hold values, not the hold.
No, we don't even talk, when we talk holds. We don't even talk flying by. I don't know what.
Yeah,
I don't know what
we
that
don't
hold
even
is.
know. If you were to ask us in a quiz that would pay us $1 million, I bet 99% of the managers wouldn't know which hold was what name. Like
so we talk straight up values. So when I say 25s, that means hold value 25, hold value 26s. So again,
unless we say hold number 25.
Yeah, hold number 25 or hold 90.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
But yes, like for a new player, it's like it's what I did for the first 10 cycles, I just did the last cycle's 501 until I got it. And that got me pretty good. I get like 493s on that a lot of times because it doesn't drop that far down. So again, like Jay, what I do is I double 25s, double 30s, double 29s, and then out of the 4 holds you have remaining, you're picking out of 6. So you're picking 4 out of 6 holds.
And with tag and 6-man strategies, you actually, it's actually not as hard as it looks when you first look at it. It looks weird, but with tag and 6-man strategies, you're pretty much looking for tag. You're looking for the 30s, the 29s, and the 28s, and then for 6-man, you're looking for the 30s and the 29s. And you're trying to figure out which holds are going to become those hold values.
And the most important things in tags is it can't be the same hold. So when you do strategies for your 2 wrestlers, they had to be in different points. So you want to get the most points at each one.
Yep, that's right. There you go. You stagger them, and you just have everything. Every hold goes in a spot, and it just, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Like once you start to play it, and you just get into a rhythm, and you write them out without even knowing you're writing it that way.
Yeah. Never play 12. Hold value 12. It's never due. It's never coming. It's not going from 12 to 30.
I'm still waiting for Johnny B to go heel and do eye gouges 30. Come on now. Eye gouge was like my go-to move when I first started back in the 80s. I was like, oh, my heel wrestler's going to eye gouge a guy. Like, yeah. No.
So me and Ryan were having a debate the other day about how do you think he comes up with the drops? And I'm saying the computer comes up with the drops. He thinks Johnny B comes up with the drops himself.
No. Yeah, there's a few guys out there that think that there's one dude in his basement doing the holds. It's not. It's too. No. Because if you look at each hold and each hold value and what they do, it's a program.
Yeah.
Because
it's pattern. It's pattern.
Yeah.
The pattern changes.
And from what I've heard from Johnny B and from Kimberly, and I'm just kind of picking pieces from their emails and what they say to me, but it sounds like the computer that does the hold values or picks the strategy, whatever, isn't even on the internet.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
which means I couldn't hack into it anyway.
Yeah, no. It's such an old system that probably if they had to update a computer, they might.
No, because you know what he has? He has the old school lotto balls with the thing that bounce around and it shoots up, and then you get the hold values that way.
Wouldn't that be funny if that's what it was? They're rolling the balls and going, "Okay, 25 will be hold number." Like, no. That would just crush me if
I'd be upset.
Johnny B sending a video and showing us how he picks the hold. Like, I would be devastated.
But I think the way to combat holds and hold values is it's going to be your trash talk, your sneak attacks, and your angles and your feuds. Like, you can have a bad cycle. Like, oh man, I messed up. I got 49 this cycle. I'm getting crushed. But if your TT is hot, people are responding, and you're in a feud, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, big time. And if you're doing the match deal, you're not going to lose every match.
No.
Right? And that's the fun thing about IWA today compared to back in the 80s. Yeah. You didn't have the match deal back then. You didn't face the jobbers that much. You were the jobber because you weren't getting... Yeah.
And once they figured out you sucked, they're coming after you.
Oh, big time. Like Ryan Furtuck and what was the other guy's name? John Elway. They were beating me up on a regular basis. Those guys.
Jumping Jim Elway.
Jumping.
I wanted to bring him back for an angle, but I think Elrod would get mad at me.
I think he's still playing that manager.
Yeah, he's still around.
Yeah, he's still around. I think he still plays, but I don't know where.
I've had maybe a brief conversation with him once, maybe. That's about it.
Yeah, he's don't meet your heroes, kids. Don't meet your heroes. He's not.
Yeah, the rumor has it he was one of Johnny B's students, by the way.
Oh, there you go.
That was the rumor. We don't know if that's. We should maybe me and Matt should do a show because he knows all the IWA urban legends and rumors.
I still remember as a kid, like Ryan Furtuck bragging about these 1,000 wins and he's going to get 1,000 wins, and I was like, yeah, they're all against me. You like, that's not funny. It's like, come on, man.
So like
that's why I came back. That's why I came back, because I wanted to meet him in the middle of his Hall of Fame. He has 3 guys in the Hall of Fame, or 4 guys, I think, but 3 rocks. And I wanted to get 3 guys in the Hall of Fame. That was my whole drive.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for world title, as I mean, especially today, getting a 501 doesn't mean you're going to be the world champion. So it's tough.
I don't think I ever hit that 501. I have 2 goals left in the IWA. One is winning the world championship. Not so much for the belt, because I have a belt, but the second one would be taking a league from scratch and taking it to number 1 would be the other one.
Yep.
That one's probably more doable for me than winning the IWA world title.
You've taken IWL, like that was like number 1, wasn't it?
Yeah, IWL was I think we had an 8-cycle streak going for a while.
Oh yeah,
I think that was
and the strat total. See, the one thing that new managers overlook in the IWAR network, if you look at that strat total every time they print it on the report, you'll see that the IWAR leagues are very tough.
Yeah.
The leagues that I was commissioner of before I came back here were like averaging 486, 485. So I mean, I was awesome there.
Some guys who are looking for, I'm not gonna say the word easy, because it's never easy, but you're looking for the path of least resistance to get a IWA wide. They're not coming to play our leagues.
Yes, and that's the thing, is that when I first started back in the 80s, I was looking at just getting a champion. I didn't care if it was a regional title. I didn't care how it was done. I just wanted to get my name for a title.
Yeah.
So I can see new managers wanting to do that, and it's tough in these leagues. Some of these leagues is very tough. So be patient. Don't give up on it. Keep trying, and hold values, not holes.
Yeah.
Most important thing.
Like for me, the only match that matters to me, especially on a pay-per-view cycle, would be against my opponent. So if I'm fighting, say, Barry Stevens, I only have to beat one player. That's all I care about. I don't care about winning league. I don't care about winning a TV, or like I've won enough leagues. I've won enough regionals. You know, I don't know how many regionals I've won, but it's been a lot. I don't care. And then again, that goes back to I would eliminate the front page if I ever became a commissioner of a vet league again, because I wouldn't have titles on the front page.
Yeah,
it'd be number 1 contenders. I would start, TV would be number 1, but then I would have to convince Johnny Beats to renumber the entire bulletin, which I don't know if he would do. That kind of stuff. Like, just be mad at me.
Actually, they're pretty good at.
I know.
They're pretty good. Like I have to give them props, because they let me run wild with the YJL and the old school look.
Yeah.
Because that was something that I remembered when we first got our bulletins back, like YJL back in the late 80s.
Yeah.
It was just writing. That's all it was. It was just a typewriter, and you just typed it out. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and they let me run with it, so it was pretty cool.
Speaking of, I do want to show. Let me see if I can pull it up. If I want to show. Jay says I won regionals. I want to win league to brag to my wife. She's not going to care. Mine doesn't. She calls me a moron.
Yeah, they look at you funny when you start talking about.
I don't tell people about this ever. One of the most embarrassing things ever.
It's hard to explain, because it's something that when we were kids we played, and now it's just bringing back those memories. That's, to me, it's a memory thing. It's just that to remember back when I was younger and going to the mailbox and getting those reports, or getting the package in the mail and being like, oh wow, I won.
Unless you were a wrestling fan in the 80s that knew about it, if I can't even talk to like normal wrestling fans about it. So it's like it's a niche of a niche of a niche.
Yeah, and I got all my friends involved in it because when I first started, like I sent my $2, and I was like, yeah, I'm probably not going to get anything back because I doubt if they do it for Canada, but whatever, I'll send it.
That and you get your sea monkeys.
Yeah, and I showed
X-ray specs.
Exactly. That's what I thought it was. I thought it was a ripoff big time, but it was like $2, whatever. It's only $2, whatever. And I got the envelope back, and I showed my friends, and they all joined, and we I mean, pretty much YJL at that time was 5 Canadian players from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. It was pretty cool.
So speaking of bulletins, it's a preview of the NWL bulletin on the screen right now. Again, going to a more clean-cut, old-school type of look on it. I think Matt said it. IWA wants it in JPEG or PNG. They want it as an image file.
Yes, PNG. Yeah.
Okay. So they don't want it as a PDF. They want it as a PNG.
Yeah, as far as I know, that's what I send it as.
Okay, so I'll do that. I'm not gonna send it. I'm gonna send it after this other cycle post. So I don't want them to. I'm not saying they would get confused and do it early, but I don't really want to run that risk anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'll wait before we go and do that.
And they're pretty good with design. Like that's thing about IWA. Like they have really upped their game. Like you ask them for something and they do it, and it's awesome. They really do.
I felt like this is something that no one would ever think about doing until someone finally asked. And they're like, "Oh yeah, we could do that." You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
Someone eventually just asked, like, "Can we do this?" And it's like the L thing, right? When I asked them, "Hey, listen, do I have to have an L at the end? Like, does it have to be so and such league?" Yeah. You're telling me in the 30 years or whatever since 1985, no one's ever asked that question before?
Probably not. Well, see, that's the thing. Like, I don't remember many commissioners. Like, I was in dead leagues though, right. But I mean, like. Commissioners, you have a lot of power as a commissioner because you control what it's going to look like, everything's how it's going to flow, and it's interesting. Some of the commissioners, like the ideas they come up with, it's pretty cool.
Like, do you think like Lone Wolf League would have been Lone Wolf League if they could have named it not something else without league on it? Probably not. They probably would have been something different. Same thing with MRL would have been something different.
Didn't Matt create LWL?
Yeah. He was one of they listen to this shit. They'll correct me. He was part of the group. He was part of the group. Just to be we still have to be somewhat political since it's a whole thing. There's a whole thing, guys. There's a whole thing. But I want to show you guys how I put Luther's face on things. So I have this program that does it for me.
That's cool.
So we'll pick something out. Let's see if I find something here real quick.
You gotta put them on Pee Wee Herman's body.
I can put them on anybody if I want. doesn't matter. But let me see.
Abdul the Butcher.
I don't want to get canceled here, guys. Either
get him out of shape and in rough shape, so then he has to.
I would never do that to him, ever.
Give him the dad bod.
Sometimes I would put his face over his face. Sometimes too, because I want the beard.
Yeah.
So, let's see.
The Rambo days.
Let's see which one can I put him over? That's gonna look halfway decent. So I do that all too. Like so, I have a lot of pictures on my computer. So because I would just constantly if I see something cool or funny, I just download it anyway, and I'll just do it, just to do it, just to have it. And then when I'm looking for stuff, I'm like, oh, I can do that, just to have the assets ready to go. So let's see. Let's see. Okay. Let's do this. Alrighty, so let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and convert this over. There we go. And thank you for sending me this picture. At least I think it was you. I'm pretty sure it was. Jay says, although my oldest son is 21 now, he loves wrestling because of me and traded with Dustin Rhodes and now wrestles in Texas. I'm super proud of that. That's awesome. I dig that for sure. That's cool. Dustin's a good guy.
That's a pretty cool school that he's got running there.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
So yeah, so this is how I put Luther's face on stuff. I didn't want to do like straight up Stallone-ish.
Oh, that's a picture. Yeah, okay. I remember that picture now. Yeah, the splits. I was like, I saw it and thought, hey, you would probably put. That's awesome. That is classic.
So it gives me the ability to like. He's not Sylvester. He's not Sylvester Stallone. He just kind of looks like him, sort of.
Yeah. And that's actually a good picture. You should put that like.
Oh, I'm using that for something. I'm using that for something.
He's doing the Van Damme move, doing the splits.
But I've done stuff like recently. I'm gonna show you guys. I've been taking movie posters. Like again, you can do what you want to do. The program is called AI Face Swap. Is the name of the program. But you can use anything. Like it's all available out for you guys. So I've been using like movie posters.
Yep.
So let's see. And I did the same thing with Tracy. So originally, guys, Tracy was Tracy Lords, adult film star. But when I came back, I started walking that back a little bit because that's a bit rough. So I do edit myself sometimes, but
sometimes
I do try. It gets hard.
Yeah.
But I do edit myself. So it's not like I can't go where I want to go with this. So I started walking that back. So I took a couple of pictures and combined them to make like a brand new person.
Yeah.
Which I did. So that's why Tracy has a new look, and we lost the last name, but it doesn't matter because sometime this year we're gonna do a wrestling wedding anyway. So that's gonna be a thing. But like for example, apparently Luther's new movie will be Grease, and he'll be out and doing that soon. So yes, from Crybaby Tracy Lords, yes, former adult film star and controversial Ohioan. Damn it, Johnny! What's the word for Ohio? People from Ohio? Ohioans? I forget. He told me once. He's gonna be mad at me now.
I can't remember. I think it's Ohio.
He doesn't like to repeat himself. So when we ask him the same questions on multiple occasions, he gets mad. But Johnny, you have to understand, we have new people watching the show all the time, and they may have those questions.
And some of us are getting really old and forget that we asked the questions.
Yeah.
So come on now.
So this is Luther, an American Psycho poster.
Like, that's the one thing about IWA, that the managers are getting older and older.
We are.
But I mean, it's a tribute to the game, though, that we came back to keep on playing. Like that's the. I don't think Johnny B ever expected players to come back and when he created the game. No,
I think it was one of many things he was trying to.
Yeah.
I thought someone did he sell pizzas? I feel like he sold pizzas. I think I've read that somewhere.
Oh, wow.
So, for those of you who don't know, I'm insane. I'm gonna leave it there.
No, we know.
I'm completely out of my mind. So, I will swap the face and the knife image as well. That's coming too. So I'm insane. So I do like an obnoxious amount of research on topics, and my research has led me to Willowick and the surrounding areas. Would be Willowdoe, East Lake, the Cleveland suburbs, whatever, just to find out like funny, cool locations that Luther can be around because he's spending time in Willowick for reasons we will find out later. So
I have to ask the question right now. So how far is the restraining order? Is it a mile or 2 miles away from the Johnny B's family, or?
It has to be at least 2 miles, 500 feet for sure. 500 feet. So in my research, I stumble across funny and unique things, and like, you know, I think I'm going to do something where Luther is hanging out in front of Rudy's Quality Meats, which is a butcher shop somewhere in Willowick, right? But as I'm going through stuff, I'm going through the Lake Catholic High School yearbook because I stumbled across it somewhere on internet. So then I started going through all the yearbooks and looking at the various pictures of Johnny B in the yearbooks. He's in there a lot. He taught there. You know, as I'm learning more and more about, and I'm looking through all the kids, and I see the B family throughout the yearbooks, and then, you know, them starting putting names together and stuff like that, and like, oh, okay, you know, time frames, timelines, and all types of stuff. And so what I do I do research. So when Luther is in Willowick, he talks about places that are actually that Dairy Queen exists, that we were just in. It's there. I think when we did that sneak attack, the risky business, where like Johnny B brings the homeless people to the mission, and Barry Stevens serving gruel, and then he gets gruel thrown in his face, and then we have a homeless person's riot. Like that city of Mission is a real place. So I do that. That's the Easter eggs, and sometimes he likes to find those. And
so my question now is: are you sitting in a tree across from his house right now?
No, that's weird. No, that's weird. I'm not obsessed. I just do research. I'll give you another example of this. So when Luther became Russian, remember, he wasn't always Russian. When Luther became Russian, I did a research paper on Soviet history.
Yeah.
So when I say things, they would match up. Learned a little bit of Russian and started watching World War II documentaries on Russians' involvement in World War II. Then I started watching about secret laboratories in Russia. So that's where Luther is from. He's from a dead city that doesn't exist in Russia. It's a town that exists, but we think it's a fake town.
Chernobyl.
Sort of like Chernobyl, but there's a bunch of places in Russia that people live there. They don't live there anymore, and we don't know why.
Yes.
So it's all these creepy places.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of some of those places. It's pretty spooky.
It's very spooky. So that's part of Luther's pseudo backstory, that he was genetically engineered in the lab in Soviet Russia. And that's part of the story.
Has he always been your character? Since you started IWA, has he always been your main character?
So Luther started out as 3 names on a piece of paper.
Okay.
So it was Robert Race, it was Henry Hansen, and it was Luther Alexander. And Luther Alexander is Lex Luthor backwards. That's the name, right? So I'm looking at 3 names about which one I'm going to use, and I'm going to use Luther. And then Luther initially was going to be like this. He was going to be Ryu from Street Fighter. He would just go from place to place to place and just battle the best. That was the initial concept. Of Luther, and he was going to be this world warrior, and this is where it started. So I just do my trash talk, and I would do the setting of the trash talk would be from important locations in wrestling history. Because I was just trying, I know a lot about wrestling. Let me show that off. Ooh, I'm a dick. So we did Double Cross Ranch in Amarillo, Texas, right? Terry Funk's from. We did Grenoble in the French Alps. That's where Andre's from, right? We did some stuff at the Garden. We did I think we did one at the Cow Palace. Then I did one in the Russian chain factory in Russia. Because of the Koloff's the Russian chain match, right? So he does this thing where he picks up the Russian chain.
My original guy was a French-Canadian guitar guy, like a music guy, and like Elvis Presley, but French-Canadian. And
it's like a French-Canadian honky-tonk man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Imagine the Mountie and the honky-tonk man were together, like joined together.
Yeah.
That's what I was going for, was that everyone hated Honky Tonk Man when he was doing his singing and stuff like that, and his shake, rattle, roll. And everyone hated the Mountie in the States, so I thought, hey, that's perfect. And I don't know why. I thought that was a great gimmick. But
I thought it was illegal for you guys to call him the Mountie.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's illegal.
That's a real thing. I'm not even kidding. So he wasn't allowed to be the Mountie in Canada because they used to get mad because he was making fun of the Mounties. So he'd be Jacques Rougeau in Canada, but in the United States he's the Mountie.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I thought he was always that. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
So he wasn't
I remember the Bret Hart, the Hart Foundation and HBK.
Yeah.
Their feud when they were in Canada, Bret Hart was the face.
Yeah.
When they were in the States, Bret Hart was the heel. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. That was pretty cool.
So when Jacques Rougeau formed the Quebecers,
yep.
Their theme song says "We're not the Mounties."
Oh, with
so they
PCO?
Yeah. So when they changed it. So his song was "I'm the Mountie." So when he was the Quebecers, he was like, "We're not the Mounties."
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's interesting. I remember he was a great heel though.
Oh, he was fantastic.
Yeah.
Terrible babyface though.
Oh yeah, and Honky Tonk Man was just like people just hated him. Like,
yeah, he was just got so much heat.
He couldn't wrestle that good. Like he wasn't a good wrestler, but he did the job, and it was like
he's probably as good as Jerry Lawler though.
Oh, I'm sure. He just like his punches, like everything just looked fake.
A lot of that was
like when Bret Hart started doing his thing, it started looking a lot more real.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan and Ultimate, like those guys, their moves were like, I don't know. You could tell that they, like when they were giving a guy the boots when he was down, it was like, okay, he's stomping his foot big time. When they're hitting the other guy, they were like slapping their thigh, or they were like, there was no, I don't know. It just didn't feel. And you look at Ric Flair. When Ric Flair used to give chops, no guy had a red chest, right?
Listen, Wahoo McDaniel will hit you and murder you with it.
Oh yeah, like there were some guys that were stiff. There were some like
Valentine and
there were some guys that were very stiff. You could tell they were hitting you, and like Big Van Vader, you knew he was hitting you.
So James has a question. So where is the NWL based out of for story purposes? WTL. So the NWL moving forward would be based out of Kings Park, New York. The training facility and arena will be on the grounds of Pilgrim State Hospital, which is an old psychiatric ward that closed down. My dad actually used to work there. So it's like this huge, it's like the size of a college campus. So it was a crazy people's house. So in storyline, a while back, Luther bought the property and put a mansion on it, and then in addition to the mansion, he has a arena on the grounds and the training center. So starting December, January, everything will be taking place out of Kings Park, New York, and everyone will be training at Luther's house.
And WTL, I don't know. I'm guessing we could say Texas. We could say like New Mexico.
No, it shouldn't be that. It should be Saskatoon in Canada. They have
see. We could do like the Calgary, Alberta thing, but
sure.
I think
that's too on. That's too on the nose.
Yeah, like because I like that was the main question a lot of people were asking. Like, were we going to change the name to WTL? Were we going to change the gimmick? I actually like the Wild West kind of theme or kind of.
It fits wrestling. It's just my feeling about gimmick leagues is like they're only going to get so big.
Yeah.
Because it's not,
And that's the thing about WTL is that it is a gimmick league, but it also has other things that attract you to it too. So there's other things going on with it, but it's going to be fun.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Yeah, so I will have the entire I have a diagram of the Alexander Asylum too, like where everything is. Like there's an Olympic-size jacuzzi there. There's a water park. There's a drag strip. There's the arena. There's a zoo. The zoo has mini giraffes and ligers there. Yeah, so I wrote like a thesis paper on the grounds. It's like 12 pages of what's in. Awesome. There's a dungeon where Luther's twin brother lives. He's locked away. Luther Alexander has a brother named Alexander, which is weird. But most people think it's a clone, like a failed clone.
Oh, man.
He wrestled for like 3 cycles in the CWL and like murdered somebody. So they locked him away.
That's awesome.
But the thing is, the gag is like no one knows if it's real or not. Because they've never seen Luther and Alexander together at the same place at the same time.
See, that's like my guy that hates masked wrestlers, but he puts on a mask from time to time and comes in. And it's obvious that it's him, and it's like, well, they can't be in the same room together, they can't be in the same area, they never wrestle each other. Like, there's always got to be something.
Yeah, Luther hates luchadors, but he loves tacos. It's weird. It's not that he hates Mexicans. You can be American and be a luchador. He doesn't like you.
Yeah.
So that was the whole premise of that. He doesn't like. He thinks people who wear masks are up to no good and ugly. Hence why they wear masks. But yeah, like world building is a big thing, especially for like I will write out everything. Like I said, even on the NWL staff, there's stuff that no one's going to know about these guys other than me. Because I wrote bios on everyone. So that's what I want you guys to do, especially rookies or even, write out bios. Send them to people so we know who is who and why. So it's like, I'm going to bring it back. I don't know if the NWL, if you guys were a rookie recently, let me know. So the IWA used to send a rookie questionnaire. So we'd have like all your pertinent. So we'd have your like height, weight, your little backstory, and there was a space for a picture. Number one, do they still send that or not? If not, I'll probably make a new one and have them send it. Because I need to know. So
I'm guessing you'd probably have to do a new one.
Probably.
That would be, yeah.
Matt didn't have any idea what I was talking about. I'm like, you probably made it. He's like, I forgot.
And that's one thing when you only have one wrestler, you can go pretty deep into the character build and stuff like that.
So most of my tenure, I've had one. I've ran one. I've ran up to 6. But those are usually like Luther henchmen. So like Soul Train Jones was mine. Che Guerrero was mine. Ricky Spanish, the worst person in the world, was mine. Carlos Danger was mine. I had Jay Crockett. I had Colt McQuaid. Who else? The Willowick Warrior was a thing for a while.
The Willowick Warrior. That's awesome.
He was the Ultimate Warrior, just in black and gray paint.
That's awesome.
He even cut Ultimate Warrior promos that made no sense. He was like a proto Red Scorpion. Who would just write nonsense.
I was going through movies a few days ago, and I saw Red Scorpion and started laughing. I was like,
well, that should have gave it away right there. So there's 2 things with the Red Scorpion angle that should have gave it away like right off the top. Number one, if you're a longtime viewer of the Tubecast, I constantly talk about the Black Scorpion.
Yeah.
Because I thought the Black Scorpion was going to be the Ultimate Warrior, and I was really sad when it wasn't. Because I bid on that angle. And number 2, like the Red Scorpion film with Dolph Lundgren, that's as the Red Scorpion, and the Russian connotation there is like, should have got that right off the top. And I did crazy stuff. Like I put Luther as the Red Scorpion in Russian, like before one of the shows started. So if you had so inclined to just translate that, you would have known. Like, I think the first Tubecast I'm back, I did that. But that was fun. That was fun. Just like,
well, when you started doing Tubecasts again, I was wondering when you were going to come back. I was like, hey, he's got to be coming back soon.
Yeah.
He's doing Tubecasts again. We're back into it. We're doing stuff. He's got to be coming back any minute now. Any minute now, he's going to be coming back into IWL, and it's going to be awesome. We're going to be, here we go. I'll get Big Ben Jr. back. and then I was like, wait, what? Oh no, he's in CWL. It's like, oh no. And it like there was a huge boost there, and I was like, okay, yeah, I can see why.
He does that.
He has that effect on.
He does. He does. I hate to even say it, but he does.
What is the new league going to be called again? ACW?
ACW, which will be their cycle number 1 for that.
Yes. That'll be interesting.
But it's going to be a whole, like, he has a lawsuit going on with the CWL now because they breached his contract. So there's things going on there as well. So that story is not over, and we'll see where we go from there. But yeah, Red Scorpion was a lot of fun. Like I started making up like stories, like characters for him, like like his best friend Doug and Doug's blind brother Craig, and then no one ever picked up on Craig's cousin Craig. Which is hilarious to me. There was a bus driver there too that drove the short bus that no one ever picked up on.
Like, what was that? Those guys. What was that Newhart show where they? Like,
that's the joke, from
my brother Doug and my other brother Doug, or whatever. Yeah.
That's the joke. That's the reference for sure. But like I see, if you guys.
Well, being creative, like Jay, I wish I was this creative. It takes time. Like when you first start off, you start doing your trash talk and stuff like that. You want to kind of add to it and kind of add images. And once you start and you find a program that you like, it actually becomes pretty easy.
Yeah, we didn't all start this way. You know what I mean?
Oh no!
Like I had just the block of text too, like for a while.
Well, that's like with the we don't talk about flutters that much, but as a flutter, as someone that has a lot of wrestlers, I never knew anything about Google Sheets or programs like that for spreadsheets, and now I'm actually pretty good at them because I pretty much taught myself how to do it.
Yeah. So the great thing about the IWA, it's taught me so much. So it taught me how to use Photoshop, taught me how to edit video, taught me how to live stream. Taught me how to use AI.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things you learn as you go.
And Jay, I only have one wrestler. Not technically two, but I technically only have one wrestler as well. I normally play one.
Yeah.
I've gone up to 6 though, but I usually play one.
You flutter.
I like the anti-flutter.
Yeah, there you go.
The complete opposite. The complete opposite of a flutter.
Well, see, and that's the fun thing about IWA is that there's so many different ways to play this game. There's not just one set way. There's guys that have 6 wrestlers that spend hundreds of dollars a cycle and have tons of matches for the one wrestler. And then there's guys that have 200 wrestlers and spend only use one match per wrestler. So and everyone's having fun. So I mean it's all different.
I want to show you guys an early. I gotta find it first, but an early Luther trash talk and see what the difference is. So you see what I do in the CWL with like Luther stuff. When I'm commissioner, I do that, but for you instead. You know what I mean? So like it's what makes it a little bit different. So like I do pinups of wrestlers who are in the league. So if like say AJ Hammer, for example, right? In my report, there would be a pinup picture of AJ Hammer there, or there would be a picture of Scapegoat, and I would do other things around it just to promote those guys, just because as an acknowledgement, like I see you, I see you, and that's what we're all kind of looking for, is that acknowledgement. Like I see you, you're good, I got you. Yeah. Because that's, as a rookie myself, no one said shit to me for like 10 months. Like I was just out there just doing my thing, and no one responded to my TT, and no one wanted to feud with me or nothing.
And there's some leagues where you go to a league and you think, hey, this is gonna be awesome. We're gonna have a great trash talk league, and that's what burns out a lot of commissioners too. They come in with that idea that, hey, I have to have lots of trash talk. And it's like, no, don't. Just do it for yourself to begin with. Once you start doing trash talks, they'll start following in if they want to, and if they don't, then just run with it. Have fun with it.
So I want to show you an old Luther promo. Let's see, is this the same? Yeah, it's locked. Alright, so let's pull this up here. Nope. Alright, so let's take a look here.
Talking about trash talks, my first trash talk when I went back in the 80s, I used to write it out and I'd send it on a piece of paper, and I remember seeing that it's like the
lines in it still.
Yeah, they cut and pasted it onto a piece of paper.
See the tape mark still on it, like these guys.
And I was like, that's my trash talk. Yeah, yeah. I still remember that it was like, you see the tape mark, you see how they pasted it on, and they photocopied it onto it.
You know how much work that is?
Yeah.
Like you look at a bulletin, you're like, oh yeah, whatever. Like, oh, they just put together a PDF. Like,
oh no,
brother, that takes time, brother. Like, that's not an easy deal.
Their understanding of Word and how to align that stuff, they're pretty good.
So this is a 2013 Luther Alexander TT. That's what it was. So that's what I did, and then I found let me critique my own TT here, all right? Yeah. All right, cool. I got a logo that's out of proportion on top. Like, the aspect ratio is shitty on that. That's great. Let's see what else. This was a NWL.com video exclusive. I guess he was doing it on YouTube.
When was this again?
This is 2013.
Okay.
So I have terrible font that you can't really read. Let's see. He's when I was telling you that he was doing these trash talks from unique wrestling locations. This one takes place in Bad Street, USA, by the way. So he's in Atlanta, Georgia, Bad Street, USA, and he's clearly feuding with Izzy Crazy and Willie the Survive, which are the brothers in question, which was Luther's first feud. He's a babyface here, by the way.
Oh
wow. So he beat Izzy Crazy, and anything's going on for Willie the Survive. I think he lost in the semifinals, or he might have lost in the finals of the Willowwood Classic. So this is still NWL. So, the problem here with this, it's like, if I had to read this, I don't know whose TT this is. It's not until the last line I identify myself as Luther Alexander.
That's a common mistake with a lot of managers.
Yep.
They assume that the commissioner will be able to go, oh, okay, I know who this is. And it's like, no, don't do that. Because commissioners, hey, we're pretty good, but we're not that good.
Yeah.
You need to know who it is. So have your name at the top, or have
somewhere.
And
Double D Christoph, I'm looking right at you, buddy.
And a lot of managers, what they'll do is they'll have 6 wrestlers, and they'll have all 6 of the wrestlers talk in one page.
You can't tell who's who.
So you have to have their names or show their names, and don't do initials and stuff like that. Just do like the full name, because commissioners, it takes us a while to figure out who is writing the trash talk, and that's why some of us do the picture at the top with the names at the top or whatever, and we do something to show that who is actually doing the trash talk.
And there's different types of trash talk. So
yeah.
So when Luther talks a lot, he has one TT there. There's one actual trash talk there. Yeah. So he has his actual, like, whatever his promo is, his trash talk there. Then there's either a sneak attack. There's something else. There's pictures. Pictures are worth 1,000 words, by the way, guys. But there's, like, for example, last cycle, he makes the appearance on Primetime Wrestling. And what does he do there? He talks about this wrestler and that wrestler, and he's getting other people involved. So now those wrestlers that he just had a passing comment about will probably say something about him next cycle.
Yes, you know, and that's actually a pretty cool trick to do too.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a feud, just name off a bunch of guys you want to have a feud with and see which one bites. And I've done that many times.
And comment about stuff. So I could be something like, man, there's no way AJ Hammer is going to beat, Greggy Money at the next period. Like, there's no way. No way. He sucks. Yeah. And like now AJ Hammer is mad. And that's all it takes.
I like what WWE is doing now, where they do the backstage camera and they follow the wrestlers and stuff like that. It gives you a different way to trash talk too, where you can actually do a backstage where a guy's standing backstage and just talking about someone, and all of a sudden he's like face to face with the guy, and it's like, hey, it's great to be able to trash talk like that too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's different ways. It doesn't have to be like, and I know most people have grown up with their WWE, right? So WWE music hits, dude walks out the ring, grabs the mic, starts talking.
Yeah,
there for 25 minutes. Music hits, someone else, dude confronts them.
And they do that stammer talk where Triple H was like the best for it.
Yeah.
You go like you'd say like 5 words and then stop. And pause, and then 5 words and then pause. and then of course Stone Cold Steve Austin ruined that by doing the what comment. And
so there's different locations. Use the backstage interviewer. There's a lot of stuff to be. Who did the TT this cycle? It took place like someone did their TT. I forget who it was, but someone did their TT, and like Logan Kane's like off to the right, like doing his show as they're doing their TT. So he's just kind of in the background. Like I thought that was interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah, so there's different ways to do it because again, we're in this world that kind of exists, right? So it's like. I always try to I'm walking past somebody. Like I think I did a sneak attack on Horoscope, where he beats him up in the bathroom stall and then kind of gives him he eats the curb, but it's a toilet instead. And then he walks out and there's Double D Christoph is sitting there and he's like, do you want to go for tacos? And Double D Christoph's like, what? And he walks away. That's the kind of the stuff we're looking to do, but. As you get in the vet leagues, it's you have to make a name for yourself. So that means you have to start challenging people. Cast that wide net. You'll get with somebody.
You do, yeah.
So that was AJ Hammers. That was the Logan King. I thought that was impressive. That caught my eye immediately. I was like, It's one of the, you ever seen the Leonardo DiCaprio like meme of like he points and whistles? I did one of those.
See, when I first came back, I went after the Von Snaps because I was like, hey, that's a target.
Matt's always a good guy to go after.
Yeah, sure. and I did like the Gentleman Jarvis where he came out and said, I'm gonna be a stunt double, not a wrestler. I'm gonna be the stunt double for the Von Snaps. And then that's when he won the league title and went 3 cycles in a row with the league title. And I remember the second cycle, I came out and said, "Yes, we're retiring. We won the league title. We're done. We're no longer wrestlers. Thank you very much. Good night." And I'm going to go with the stunt double thing, and this is what I'm going to do. And then they just stalked the Von Snaps like for 15 cycles and just kept on bugging them. And it's just one of those things that you got to find someone that you think you can do something with, and then just run with it.
I want to show you guys what the NWL main event TV show looked like from 2013, 2014. Let me get that up now. The reason I'm showing you guys this is like we all have to start somewhere.
Yes.
So it's important to like, hey, listen, be inspired by half the stuff I do I stole from other people. Yep. I stole from other commissioners.
Oh, and real wrestling steals from us.
Right. All the time.
Like I've seen many things happen in WWE and that, and it's like, hey, that happened in IWA.
Like I stole a bunch of stuff from like Melvin Mayhem, across the board. I went and I started looking at like who does cool stuff. I was like, oh, he does cool stuff. He does cool stuff. I'm taking that. So this is the NWL main event, as you can see here, live from the Alexander Asylum. The old school NWL logo there, so that's nice to see.
Yep.
So look how basic that is. It's text.
Huh.
That's it. Old IWAR Network logo on the bottom. I haven't seen that in a while.
Yep.
And this is Sam Soley and Pierre Roulette on commentary. That's it. I mean, it's not a whole lot here. Not a whole lot here.
No, and that's all you need.
That's all we needed.
Yeah.
That's all we needed, and that's. I'm not saying at the time this was like revolutionary or anything. It was just like, oh, he's just putting in work. He's like, oh, he's working. He's putting in work.
And that's what I look as a commissioner. I look for activity. If they're going in the battle royal and they're active, and I keep stats and I keep track of how many matches guys do every cycle, because that's something that kind of interested me when I first came back. I was curious of how many matches certain wrestlers were getting. Were they only doing one match every cycle, or were they doing like 20, or what was the? So it was actually pretty interesting. That's how I got started in the stats.
Yeah, I don't track anything, which is probably my downfall. I don't track holds. I pick my strategies in 5 minutes.
Well, that actually you don't need to, because I mean, guys before computers and stuff like that, or before we had spreadsheets and that,
right,
we're doing it on the back of the bulletin.
Yeah.
Right, and I wish Johnny B and Kimberly, I wish they would actually, like, in big bold print at the very top of the bulletin, say, "Look at the back page, stupid." I wish they would have said that. I wish it would have been like in their rule book or whatever, like the first page saying, "Hey guys, look at the back page of the bulletin. It is the most important page of the bulletin." But I just never caught on to that. I just thought, hey, they were just doing the holds, whatever.
He's like, "Oh, body slam looks good."
Yeah, I didn't look at the numbers like back
pick
in the
Savate
80s.
kick.
I just looked at the holds. I was looking at the hold names. I was like, oh, that's a cool hold. I never looked at the numbers. I never realized that, hey, the numbers mean something. I was like, no, I don't.
We probably should be looking to update those holds, by the way.
Some of them, yeah.
Because there's not much difference between a Savate kick and a super kick. They're the same. That's the same thing.
Yeah.
So, just putting that out there.
What's the one that HBK used? The super kick?
Super kick, yeah.
Yeah, that was one person did it back then, and now everybody does it.
Yeah, I think we had Chris Adams before that, and it was off and running.
I remember the Garvin the Garvin stomp. when he did that stomp, I thought it was like the coolest move in the world, and it's silly, but I mean, I thought it was like so cool that he would go around and just stomp every body part and just boot the guy.
So if you had to pick 3 moves to add to the move list, what would you pick?
Wow. See, that's the thing. I don't really look.
You know what's
I
not
don't
there.
even know what holds are there because I don't look at the hold names. Like that's why sometimes I got to put them in my reports and stuff like that, just so that I can kind of remember that. Hey,
manager interference is due.
Yeah. Eye gouge. They have to bring eye gouge back. Come on, they have to get it. It has to get.
So let's see. Let's take a look. Let's see. Where are the holds? Let's see.
Actually, to go with what Jay was saying, I was actually pretty young when I started up, and I was a paper boy. So the money that I was making from being a paper boy, which was the worst job ever, actually paid for my IWA. So that's why I was able to send that $2 and not care if it didn't come back. And I sent it, and I thought, hey, because I remember I used to get like wrestling magazines and stand at 7-Eleven and read every wrestling magazine that was there. And I remember seeing that ad, like, hey, do you want to win? Do you want to be a winner? Do you want to be a wrestler?
Are you man enough?
Yeah, are you man enough to beat Big Ben? It's like,
no.
No. Yeah, I think I lost to them too.
I made my own IWA ad for fun. I put Luther in there for shits and
there you go.
Because it's hilarious.
Actually, if you sent it to Kimberly, she probably posted on the website for you.
I don't want to confuse anybody now.
See if anyone noticed.
So I did this whole joke to myself about being an IWA copycat. So I made the Mythological Wrestling League Association, and the prize was a giant. It was a championship clock. But it looks identical from the old ads from the 90s. So looking at the holds here, we have crescent kick, savate kick, and super kick. Those are all the same moves.
Yeah.
So if I had to replace them, I think because it's modern wrestling, you got to throw the Canadian Destroyer in there, I think now. I think that's fair. People are throwing away Canadian Destroyers like you read about. Probably do a Tiger Suplex. You can add that one there. That's a good one. Let's see what else we got. I don't see Shooting Star Press on here.
Yeah, there's a few like the springboard moves and stuff that you probably could add.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's quite a few now.
Northern Light Suplex. Nope. Add that. The Cutter's here. They got Diamond Cutter, so that's good. That's pretty recent. Oh. Let's see. They have Heart Punch?
Yeah.
Where is it? I don't see it.
They had. I thought
they need to bring that back because that killed the guy once.
Yeah. I thought they did have it. Yeah.
I want to use that as my finisher.
Yeah.
Fucking Heart Punch.
Yeah, they have like some of the moves.
Like what moves? Like they probably it comes to like when's the last time you've seen this?
Like no one uses the double axe handle anymore.
No, but it's a legacy move, so that one's not bad.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you never see that move anymore though.
Like I would.
Abdominal stretch and stuff like that. You never see guys do that.
Yeah.
Or bear hugs barely. Like a lot of moves they don't really do anymore.
Yeah, like the Mongolian chop, you can although I think that it's awesome, and CM Punk is the only one that still uses that. But the Mongolian chop can probably go. Let's see what else. Like I said, that crescent kick and savate kick can probably both go.
Yeah.
You can't do an eagle split by yourself, though. Technically, you could. Like you would stand on the guy's ankle and then you would do it, but no one's done that since the 40s, I think. So eagle split will probably go.
You don't see the neck breaker and stuff like that anymore. Like you don't. See...
No, but those are more legacy moves that you're probably gonna have on there anyway. But I don't see like gut wrench suplex, the butterfly suplex, tiger bomb, buckle bomb could probably be a new one that you can put on there. That's new. Yep. Curb stomp is another one that you could probably do. That's new. Let's see what else.
They have spear, don't they?
Yeah, they got spear, which is good. Death Valley Driver is probably... No, it's there. Okay, that's good. You can use Burning Hammer.
They have Scorpion Deathlock, but they don't. Do they have Sharpshooter?
It's the same move, though.
It is.
But you could do, like... see, Cobra Clutch and a Sleeper, you can say they're different, but they're both kind of a sleeper. That's fine. Texas Cloverleaf on here? Probably do that one.
I don't think so. See, that's the thing. Like, this is the first time I've actually looked at the whole names. Like, I don't look at the whole names.
You could do like STF.
Like, this would be the biggest thing where new guys could get us big time and say, okay, if you can name what 25 hold number 25 is, then I'll talk to you.
Good old fall away slam, like your Scott Hall.
Fall away slam, yeah. And the superplex, the Cowboy Bob Orton, wasn't he the one that did that?
He Barry Windham in there too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I keep forgetting about Barry.
Do package pile driver. That's a newer move. You could do Phoenix Splash. That's a newer one. Yeah. Poison Rana. That's pretty cool. Let's see what else. Alabama Slam, that's a good one.
Well, see, the Alabama Slam. Okay, what did Dr. Death do? What was his move?
Oklahoma Stampede.
Oklahoma Stampede. Yeah, okay, thank you. That's because I always got confused by those two. The Alabama Slam is when you pick them up and then slam them down. Like, it's not really a slam move. It's more of a
because you hit them with the buckle first, and then you're doing the power slam. Yeah. Well, you can do that. You can do a Stampede in there if you really wanted to. That's fine. Spinning heel kick is probably another one that can go. Yep. Let's see.
The Eagle Split.
Yeah, that would need not to be there anymore. But I don't see the giant swing.
Yeah.
I would have kept the giant swing.
Yeah, that's actually a fun move.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is my original NWL report from 2013. It's on the screen right now.
That's pretty cool.
It's low tech as you can get.
That's all you need to do when you first start off.
Sure, for sure. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people I'll do big reports, but I've seen guys with one pagers that look fantastic.
Yeah, and that's to start off, so you don't get too overwhelmed. You just try to throw together something that will entertain you at first, and then once you get other managers that are into it, they'll start trash talking for you. It takes time.
So here we did a Powerplex ranking with Rob the Robot. I forget this was an angle. That's why Jimmy North is all top 9 ranked. I forget what the angle was, but it was there. The graduation policy, that's 17 cycles. A roster rundown, which again is any.
You know what you should do? You should just change the names and just recycle the. Just recycle the paper. Just change the names of the wrestlers, and there you go. You're done.
That's it. Then we had the graduation countdown. Then we had a newcomer spotlight, which this is what I use the bios. Like I would get their bios. Like IW used to send me the bios, so like they used to handwrite those and send them to me.
Yep.
And then we had the National Championship, Rising Star Championship, and the National Tag Team Champions. And then I would do winning tips from Uncle Ivan, because Uncle Ivan was Luther's trainer, and he was also the head trainer of the NWL. So let's see, what did I write as the winning tips? First off, you need to do 1,000 Hindu squats first thing in the morning. Then ask yourself, do I track, hold, each cycle? If you have an Excel sheet in some way watching the whole G cycle, if your answer is no, the 30 will never drop to 8. In fact, 30 will never drop below a 26. Just as 25 will never hit 30, most of the time 25 will not go up, or every once in a while, the 25 will fall down to 24 or 23. This is where tracking holds from every Fed comes in. So if you track holds in all Feds cycle, you will find a pattern in iron and steel that will help you in gold.
That's perfect.
And that's winning tips from McLeod.
Recycle it. Take that bit right there and put it right back into the bolt, and that's pretty much that's it in a nutshell. That's perfect.
And then then had rookies with 501s, and that's a problem.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is that like I chatted with Ryan Furtok just recently, and he asked me because I told him I was back in IWA, and he was like, "Have you ever gotten a 501 before?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've gotten actually quite a few." Like, really? I've only had 2, and he won a ton of world titles back in the 80s. Which is amazing because that shows that they weren't getting 501s.
No, we gotten smarter.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I'm just gonna grab myself another Mountain Dew.
The game has gotten a lot. We got James and Jay are still chatting with us. That's pretty cool.
Be a fresh Baja Blast.
There you go.
Jay says get rid of 86. What was hold number 86? Let's see.
86. Yeah, I don't even know.
The spear.
It's not a good move because it's not. Well, in some Feds it is. Spear is okay in some.
When was the last time you seen someone do a rope burn?
Yeah.
Now this is the rope burn where this. Did I lose audio for a second? I might have. Oh.
You should chart every hold though. That's important. And
Jay's wife just came home from work. She's telling me off in my office.
Because then you learn to see what. Oh.
Yeah. Because normally, I guess to be clear, right? So just to be clear, the drops don't repeat league over league. Is that correct? Oh, maybe I lost. Hold on. Let's. Oh, we lost. We lost Aaron. You guys can still hear me, okay, right? She chuckled and says, "Awaken my nerd stuff." Yeah, I get that all the time too. Code Red is a move. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Chris, are you from New York? Ugh. So, like I was saying before I lost Aaron, this is the old NWL report. Again, the new one. The new one, it's going to be more polished for sure. Maryland, okay, gotcha. Like near Silver Springs, possibly? That's where my uncle lives. I think it was Silver Springs. Is that a real place? I don't even know. Sounds like a real place. All right, let's get these out of the way and let's compare it to the new NWL. Well, Jesus Christ, what's going on? Ah, okay. Chrissy is the cousin of Silver Springs. Yeah, why do we think Chris was from New York? I feel like that was a thing. Jay from Western Mass. So how far away are you from Matt and Saugus? Jay, do you hear me now? I hope you guys still hear me. So, like I was saying, I don't have work tomorrow, so so I'm up pretty late. All right, cool. Yeah, I need a new headset probably because I think my headset's going bad. I'll probably get one for Christmas, I hope. But we'll see about that. Let me actually turn off the Chat GPT because that takes a lot of bandwidth away from me, a lot of memory. I'll turn this off too. So, guys, any more questions about the NWL and or anything? Any questions about IWA related stuff at all? Any questions for Johnny B? He listens to all the shows. He's probably wearing an ascot and has his leather-bound books. Awesome. I'm glad you guys can hear me. There is technically a 3-second delay, I think, or 2-second delay from when I see you guys chat to when I respond. Normally when there's a lot of us here, but when I do a solo, which I don't like to do, by the way, I hate doing this by myself. But I thought it was important just to get questions and have a Q&A session. So I thought that was important. So Jay, all your questions have been answered. Okay. Have you guys ever seen a picture of the IWA World Championship before? Yeah, no, I could definitely do that. I could definitely do some workshops on how to use Publisher. Um, like I said before, like I have like, so I'm one of those guys that have like 10,000 tabs open all the time. So I get in trouble for it at work sometimes. I just logged in a few minutes ago. Did you mention if the old storylines are finishing up? In terms of the NWL, basically what's going to happen was I take a round, and there's kind of an expectation that most of us will be starting fresh. Battleground on. Most people are there that have been drafted to probably go after that. But you guys do have an extension if you want to finish up. So what I was telling them earlier is like if you got drafted and you want to finish up a feud, and it's going to be a couple cycles, say it's 3 or 4, you get to finish that up. I'm not gonna throw you out for that. So you guys can finish up. In terms of the champions, those championship belts with championship belts that are coming in, which are the old championship belts that I had before. We're crowning a new national champion, a new Grand Prix champion. I think I'm using, and a new tag team champion. And we'll find the current. For me to change to put Luther's face on stuff, what I do, yeah, James, you can stay for as long as you hit. So if you hit 17, you can say, okay, say you got and you're in cycle 14 of your 17. You could finish it up. You could finish up what you need to finish up. So you can go to 17. We'll be 16 next year when we have the bye week next year. So to process my images, I use a program called Face Swap AI. I use Topaz because I do everything in high res. So I use a Topaz Gigapixel, which makes all the images high res. Yeah, you could definitely post cross league if you wanted to, for sure. Okay, you're on cycle 9 right now, so you'll technically get an exemption for that. But you know. What's yours? There's an expectation that you will go to that league once your time is up, though. So no worries there. I would love to figure out how to get my characters' faces from what Matt created for me onto new images. Yeah, I could probably send you. I keep on cutting in and out. Shit. Damn microphone. Yeah, so if you can get Matt to give you like a straight on face, like I guess a portrait, then you could use programs to swap out the faces onto other models if you so choose. So hopefully I'm no longer cutting in and out. According to my end, I look fine. So I get a little EQ that matches my voice, and I can see the bar going up and down. So hopefully that is maintained. Yeah, we were talking about inter-league matches before. Yeah, I've run a lot of those anyway, so no worries there. It's nice to see people working out their feuds together. That's the old thing that I used to do. I used to, when I was a Why are you stealing my charger for? My wife just stole my charger. Most of the images I have are in ring or I'm in the aisle. I have to get images backstage. So you can use, okay, so if you have an image of him, if you want to remove the background from that, I use a program called Photo Scissors. You can do that right online. You go to photoscissors.com and remove the images, and then you can just place the removed background onto another image. So like for example, let me show you. So this image that I'm pulling up with Luther on it. So obviously he's not in Willowick, Ohio. So I took the front picture, which I cut out using photo scissors, and then I put him on this background here. So if you get different looks on your wrestler, would it be, then you could definitely make some changes there for sure and put him where he needs to go. Again, that's always the limitations with the wrestler creation stuff, is that it's hard to manipulate from time to time. But unless you're really good at Photoshop. And like I said, Photoshop can be rough, for sure. It's a lot of resources, it's expensive, and then the 99% of people who use Photoshop don't know how to use Photoshop. So, this is a poster that I did for a possible pay-per-view Escape from New York. Has Luther as the Statue of Liberty. It's hilarious. Someone once told me it was meant as an insult, but I took it as a compliment. They said my wrestlers are the best marketed wrestlers in the IWA. They don't win a lot, but they're marketed very well. AI is tough. AI is really tough because it's all about prompts. So like if you want to get a photo, you're gonna have to write a paragraph to get it, and they all kind of don't look great. Like I can show you like some stuff at AI that I did. Hold on. And like they're fine. So what I've been doing instead, I've been taking other people's AI images and then putting Luther's face on them as the way around it. So it looks much cleaner. But I can show you some stuff here. So this is the AI. I did this in AI yesterday. It's not what I wanted, but it's fairly close, but it's not necessarily what I wanted. I did, let's see what I can find here. But AI in general is, I mean, one day it's going to get stupid easy. That's probably when it gets really dangerous. But right now it's not the easiest thing to use, and I've seen people like do the AI like trailers and stuff, and those I would love to learn how to do that because that looks so cool. Like imagine doing like a old school wrestling commercial for a pay-per-view. I could actually have the guys move around and interact with each other. That'd be sick. That's next level stuff. I wish I'll probably end up trying to learn that at some point, but I'm just not there yet. Let's see if I can find what else can I find here. Let's see. Anything good? Anything? All right. So this is your typical like Mid-Journey, which is the AI. It's that or DALL-E is the ones you're gonna want to use for that. Well, that's like a attempted a Luther photo there. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Sad part about this too is that I lost half my IWA stuff because I had a hard drive failure and I didn't back it up. So I have enough stuff, but half my stuff is gone. That was sad. Yes, AI cannot do hands that give you 6 fingers all the time. Yeah, James, I do this all work with one wrestler, but it makes him 3-dimensional, and it's been over time. I've been doing this for 10 years, so one guy with 10 years worth of development makes him a very interesting character. You recovered a hard drive from 15 years ago. That's awesome. If you want to laugh, ask it to. I've been trying, but low. Yeah, I noticed that too. I saw my bars go down. Again, I'm probably going to get a new headset soon. Yes, that photorealism stuff. I think I used. I think part of the prompts was like Unreal Engine, 8K, hyper realistic, yada yada yada. Like, if you go on Mid Journey, like through Discord, some people will help you with prompts to get the right kind of prompts of what you're looking for. Um, yeah, I know my audio is it's I can tell when it goes out. So but I do have to unplug my headset and plug it back into my computer. I don't know why it's doing that, but that's kind of screwy. I have an Alienware headset. Like, it cost me like $120. So I'm kind of upset that it's not necessarily working the way I want it to. But I think using AI to recap and to do some writing for me, I think I want to try it as to do match write-ups too, I guess, just to see how it would work. So I think that'd be pretty cool. So again, I want to use some AI to. I had AI generated trash talk. Kind of worked out pretty well. My old computer before I built this one was Alienware. I kind of, but it's still a Dell though. AI Remix, I gotta try that one. Let me write that one down. AI Remix. Let me take a look. AI Remix. Okay. Nice. So how'd you guys find the IWA? Did you play when you were younger like most people? Or you stumbled across it somehow, somewhere, you heard a Tubecast? How'd you guys find out about the IWA? Like, for me, I saw the ads as a kid, and I did IWA clones as a kid. But I didn't play IWA. I was in the hospital getting my gallbladder removed, and my sister brought me a wrestling magazine to read while I was in the hospital. And I was like, oh, I might as well try this. I want to win that belt. Jay, you played in high school in 1998. Yeah, I was probably, according to the IWA, that was one of their hottest periods, was Attitude Era. So they had a lot of guys playing in like 98, 99, for sure. So you played in high school and then you woke up one night like, oh, I should try that IWA thing again? So, Chris, you still buy PWIs? Like, they do what? They do every other month now? Always wanted to win the belt. I'm also 42. So we're the same age. James, you played in the mid-90s, met a buddy through it, been friends for 30 years. We were drunk one night, talking shit, decided to look back into it, so it was the thing. Jumped around about March. Cool. Brandon G, you started playing in 1995 as a kid, and then again around 2007, and then again this May of this year. Awesome. So I hate to say it, but you guys' stories are not unique. That's how everyone came back. So you know, the other players, they'll say exactly the same thing. I was like, I played it as a kid. I used to get the envelope in the mail and had fun, or I didn't know what I was doing. Like, we had a lot of I'm still good. You guys got quiet, not me this time. According to my EQ. It's way better now than I am as an adult. It's great for outlets for things like yeah, for sure. You know, I think the good thing about the IWA, you'll get as much as you put into it, you'll get out of it. You know what I mean? So if you're a person that's going to do like, hey, I want to do a half a paragraph, you're going to throw that out there, maybe throw a picture every once in a while. You spend 30 seconds on the whole. That's what you're going to get. The bigger you do it, the more fun you have. So it's like, so when I started in the game, we had a message board. It was the IWA Hoosier board. And they used to have unwritten rules in there about trash talk length, topics, and then you would pitch ideas, and then veterans would just shoot you down. So, for example, I'd wanted to do a Cobra Kai stable. Is what I wanted to do. And this is years before that Cobra Kai TV show came out. And they told me it was stupid. And I got so deflated. I was like, and there's all these rules and all. It was very like, you couldn't do this and you can't do that. And you have to ask for permission for this, and you couldn't sneak attack someone without that. It was a lot of like bogus stuff in there. And then when I took over the NWL, I threw it all away. I'm like, you do whatever you want to do. I don't care. I don't care if it's you'll do 10. I had it's every month, but it's like a month early. There's a period where it skips, I think, after the top tag team issue. Yeah, that's the whole thing too. Like, I've made friends. Like, Matt's my best friend, and I've never met him in person. So, you're surprised there was so little online about it. They figured it'd be a podcast website, YouTube channels. I mean, obviously we have the YouTube channel. Matt had a podcast before me, which I say got mad at one time because they did a recap of the NWL and then they mentioned me in it, and I was mad. So that's why we go. So you want to create a tag team? Should I model them after old school guys? Ask Johnny B how many unique managers are in the IWA. I'm just curious how strong it is these days and hope it's live well. He has the answer to that question. So Johnny B, how many unique managers do we have in the IWA? We'll probably answer that on the next Tubecast. In terms of tag teams, you should model old school guys. You can. It depends where you want to go. Like you want to start out with, like, say, you're gonna do the Brainbusters, but then start there and then make it unique from there. Or so I like the. You can go either way. So I like the model. I would like the model after old school guys because I'm an old school fan. So, like, for example, I had an idea for the Candyland Express, which is a Midnight Express ripoff. So I like those. Being unique, a lot of times it takes a little bit longer for you guys to get traction when you do it that way. So I did the Brooklyn Queens Express, which is the BQE. So that's it's an expressway around here. But those guys were like, I took Homicide and I took what's his name, Eddie Kingston, and made that a tag team. But I didn't get any traction on that one. I mean, that's the way to do it. Take two real wrestlers and mash them up. Like Luther, in ring, he's Shawn Michaels and Randy Savage, and on a promo, he's Roddy Piper and Terry Funk. I love the Robbie Neon character. That's Jeremy's creation. So, again, these Bobby Heenan type. So I think when we did that primetime wrestling thing, I think we did a pretty good job. You kind of hear Bobby's voice. I try to do it in Bobby's voice as best as I could. I do like the concept of Iron Sheik and Ted DiBiase. That'd be fun. So before I started playing IWA, I'd play a lot of Extreme Warfare Revenge and me as an amateur booker. It's funny because we watch so much Heenan and Monsoon, is that if you write as Heenan or Monsoon, you can hear them. You cut the electricity with a knife. It's going to be happening. Will you be serious? The Gorilla had a lot of Gorilla-isms. King Khan. That's the whole thing, too. It's like, for me, it's like, for every league I go to, it's going to cost me another $13. So, like, where do I budget my money? You know, so it's like, you could technically go. You can probably go 3 and still pay 13 and just kind of divvy out the matches. But for every new league that you go, and so it's cheaper to have 3 wrestlers in one league technically than have one wrestler in 3 leagues. Because if you want to do a match deal, it's going to cost you. And it's still a $5 minimum anyway. So you want to be economical. I'm not one of these flutter guys with 300 wrestlers. It's pretty ridiculous. They're dropping a lot of dough. So Chris, tell us more about the GWL. I like the report. Everything looks cool over there. What made you want to become a commissioner? There was a time where the IWA wouldn't necessarily make people like you had to ask. Like, I feel like there was there was a process. There was a process before that. Like, you hadn't had some credentials to be a commissioner. Yeah, I mean, it's not a case of having money, generally speaking. It's just like, how much money do I have for this specifically? And $13 every 3 weeks is probably pretty reasonable for everyone. At least that's my wife's an accountant, so it's a little bit different for her. So here, she hawks every penny that I spend. So it's like, what'd you spend $13 on? Socks? It's like, Jay, what other nerd stuff are you into? So other than pro wrestling, I am a Star Wars guy. I collect Masters of the Universe action figures, the new ones, the Origins. Comic book nerd, for sure. Old school TV show nerd. Rocky IV trivia expert, apparently. So this guy at my job, he said he's a Rocky trivia king. And I completely housed this kid in front of everybody. So now he's embarrassed. Oh, you're the IT guy. Okay. My wife thinks I'm an IT guy, but I'm really not. I'm the equivalent of like your old uncle that can fix your car. That's what I do. Like, I don't work at a shop, but I'll be able to fix your computer. I kind of got into all that stuff at the same time, so it was pro wrestling, comic book, Star Wars, all that stuff around. Went to my first wrestling show in '87, so I was 5. So around that same age, I got into all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, the $50 a month, may seem high, but the amount of enjoyment, you're getting more than $50 out of it for sure. Johnny B will love to hear that. He's gonna put that in the next ad that the entertainment dollar for the IWA is unrivaled. Yeah, I mean, I think it was proven that leagues with commissioners have more activity and make more money for the IWA, so they really want people out there being a commissioner. Chief Health Informant Officer. Okay. Believe it or not, I am a human resources manager. So that's what I do for money. Which I often say is like, oh, they let the inmate run the asylum here, guys. But apparently I'm pretty good at what I do. I don't know. That's what they tell me. I wonder what Johnny B's day-to-day job is. Or does he run the IWA full-time? That's the real question. Yeah, I mean, I'm into the same things. It's like, family, old school wrestling, Rocky. I collect wrestling footage. I have. Let's look down. What's the current count? The current count is 18 terabytes of wrestling footage. That is the current count. Yes, Jay, your best friend is HR at your job. That's funny. HR are the worst people, though. Especially those ones that are certified with their, was it the SHRM certificates? Yeah, they're the worst. Yeah, that's why I put I have wrestling going on the Tubecast a lot. Because I have so much of it, and I put stuff on there that people don't necessarily see often. Obviously, I try to stay away from WWF stuff. I don't want to get a copyright strike, but no one gives a shit about Great North Wrestling or Grand Prix or Texas All Star. So I have a beef with the LJN figures. I'll tell you why. So I always wanted the red trunks, white shirt Hogan, but that's the only one I'd buy because they're rubber bricks. There's no playability. The paint application is terrible, and all you can do with it is take Andre the Giant and whack your sister with it. But the thumb wrestlers, the ones with had the steel cage, I had Roddy Piper and Junkyard Dog. Those were cool. But those big LJMs that were not posable and just a slab of rubber, I think they're overrated. Still take that Hogan, though, as a display piece, though. That's for sure. I always thought that wrestlers should be like Masters of the Universe style anyway, like the AWA ones. I wanted to bring TT to the league that didn't have much because that's helped me grow into where I wanted to be. That could be hard because sometimes you're just TTing by yourself. GWF is awesome. Watch that on ESPN too. Lightning King, Jerry Lynn, Scotty the Body's on there. Cactus Jack. That's good stuff. Yeah, so I would end up like doing wrestling maneuvers with like He-Mans and like G.I. Joes instead of like the LJNs. I had wrestling buddies, so I had 4. I had Hogan, Warrior, and the Road Warriors, or Legion of Dooms if you want to be a jerk about it. However, I used to take them in the pool, believe it or not, and they would get heavy, so they were actually like real, and I would actually have wrestling matches, and because they were heavier and I could do maneuvers. Yeah, when I was a kid, I had that one friend that had divorced parents. So they were trying to buy his love with toys. So he had every toy. He had like the USS Flag, the aircraft carrier for G.I. Joe. He had like every action figure, every video game. They would have 2 Christmases. Jeff Gaylord has to be the worst wrestling name ever. I saw LJN. I saw Wrestling Buddy on sale on Facebook Marketplace, which I often peruse. They wanted like $200 for that thing. Yeah, he was like, my mom's new boyfriend got me a Super Nintendo. But he was always kind of sad about it. Like, he didn't enjoy that shit either. Like, he wasn't like, oh, cool, I got this. Like, my dad and his girlfriend got me tickets to WrestleMania. $50 years is a hell of a run. That's a hell of a run. My parents didn't get divorced until I was like 23. I hated that. Didn't you hate that too? So Jay's saying that me and my brother always got the same. Same thing with me and my cousin. They thought we would fight over them. It was like, no, we would share them like normal human beings. I still have my WCW Galoob Arn Anderson and Brian Pillman. All right, boys, I'll be right back. I have to use the little boys' room, so chat amongst yourselves. About photo scissors, no. I didn't even buy the program. I go to the website. So I'll show you. Let's see. Photoscissors.com. Let's see if I can show the screen here real fast. Screen capture. Add source. So here it is. So that's Photo Scissors. I don't log in. I don't do anything. And then I upload my image. Let's say I want to do, for example, let's do Bobby Heenan here. So one of the things I do, I don't like the old editor. I don't like the new editor, so I go back to the old editor. Then if you want to like take more stuff off, you can. So if you want to like, I want to get rid of this WWE logo here, you can. Yada yada yada. Just for example. Then what I do here is I download and it says download in low res. That's fine because you can't really tell the difference anyway. There you go. It won't let you download the image. That's weird. I hit download here. It's just download in low res. Yeah, it's just you gotta keep on trying with the AI stuff because it's hard. Like you don't have to write a paragraph. That's why I'm more into the cut, removing backgrounds than anything else. Like even like I try to get AI to remove backgrounds for me to have transparencies. They do a terrible job at it too. It's just not there yet. And then you can always like make this more. Like you can just do it with the hair and take your time. Have you guys gone back and watched the? So the Tubecast used to be different, and it wasn't always streamed live. So the Tubecast was like it was a video. Like I actually edited them, and like I went through and I edited them together, and they were post produced. So those earlier Tube guys, I think just once you get to episode like 20 or 25, they sound really polished and really good. They don't sound that way anymore, so it's more of a very robotic sounding at first if you listen to the old ones. But yeah, we have like I don't know how many videos. I used to do the video game reviews because I am a avid retro wrestling game collector, hence the name of the channel. So I have videos on those. We did some fantasy booking of 1983 on there. That's fun. I think we had clips on that one too. That was a good show. We did a show about what if I bought the AWA in 1990, what would happen? The beginning honestly, the beginning was the intro. Beginning into them gets somewhat boring. What do you mean? You're talking about the current intro video that plays over and over again. I actually have a new intro video that I never put up. Super Console X Pro video game system. So yeah, I do have a. I don't know if I can even find it. There's an actual new opening video that I made and I never used. When you play on NES Pro Wrestling and WrestleFest. WrestleFest is probably my favorite video game of all time. Period. Oh, you guys probably didn't know this. Tubecasts are open for everyone. So, yeah, there's no like if you want to be on a Tubecast, you just come on in. But everyone has open. Even Johnny B has an open invitation. The only thing you need is Skype. I have a Japanese N64 because I'm bougie. Yeah, I used to play fast. That there was this local there was a local chicken joint by me called Spicy's, and they had it there. Superstars is not a bad game either. There was a WrestleFest home port. Superstars. Or no, I think it was it's WrestleFest. It was for like the Spectrum ZL system, like whatever one they had in England. So what do you have? All right, so So, Revenge over No Mercy. For sure. Thanks, James. I'm probably heading to bed soon, too, myself. Yeah, I saw it on my EQ. But I should be back now. What I did with the opening. I'm still here. Still here. I did want to update the opening at some point. That was my plan. Figure out what I did with the video. I don't know if it's sad or not sad. That's exactly what I'd be doing anyway at this time. Nothing necessarily changes for me. That's fair. I mean, that's fair. You're fair. You're being fair. So there's a couple of reasons why I actually do that. So the starting soon stuff for sure is to get people to the links go out. Some people are not notified via the bell, so it takes a minute for them to all get there because I don't want them to miss anything. Although they could just go back and watch it anyway. But yes, conventional YouTube law would be kill the intro. That's what they told me when I went to YouTube school. So you're not wrong. I like hearing what I want to hear, but don't like the opening sequences. No, I gotcha. Hey, listen, next time I can make 12 minutes of Sylvester Stallone Japanese TV commercials. So, yeah, that's you can just skip it at that. I probably should just put a link in there, right? No, totally fair. Totally fair. I'd probably do the same thing. So yes, I do in fact have 12 minutes of Sylvester Stallone Japanese commercials. I used to put them on too before Tubecast. I try to throw some wrestling on there once in a while, so that like people are not like completely like, bored out of their mind. Wait for it. Okay. God damn it. So I was saying is I really like to read and respond. So there's some people that like to coordinate trash talks. I like to see what people come up with. I think that's really fun. And then I was talking about, one of my biggest accomplishments was having everyone in a league that I was in talk about me. So I would go through everyone's TT and everyone would say something about me. Alright, I don't want to get you in too much trouble, so I'm probably going to end the Tubecast now anyway. So have a good night, my friend, and I'll see you soon.